How funny? What's wrong? Oh my God, I hate it. I'm sorry, TikTok, I'm going away. I'm gonna come back in a second. The stream's starting. No crap, all right? I gave the finger and TikTok shut me off. We're coming back. Threw my game off here. Threw my game off. Set another 1 minute on the timer. Oh, you assholes. You suck. You all suck. What a boring stream. Oh, no. You're going to get me self-conscious right when we start? You guys are boogers. All right, let's go. We're on here. Okay. All right, we're good. Oh, wait. That was my last thing. Now we're good. Last. Checking. Don't go. All right? I know my timer went off, but I had to redo TikTok. I'm no more fingers. I'm not giving any more fingers. Don't get offended. Nobody get upset. All right? I know we got sensitive viewers sometimes. Okay. Why does the stream cut off? I hope it didn't cut off. It looks live to me. Let us know. Shut up. You guys are assholes. All right. Thank you for making me laugh to get it started. Welcome to CKSK. This week, and until we're rolling into the new schedule. There's a new schedule coming. There's a new stream setup coming. I'm not telling you about it until I'm ready. That's my new strategy. I ain't telling you nothing until we're ready. But in the meantime, we're going to use this normal streaming schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the morning to perfect our signature dishes. I never thought I would have a signature dish. I didn't think I was a signature dish guy. Guess what? I'm a signature dish guy, and I'm gonna have a lot of them. I wanna have like 20 locked down, unique Chad things that we bang out for the dinners. If you don't know, we're doing pop-up dinners in the space now. Reservations are open. We're getting, what are we getting? We're getting some weeks booked out. So if you want a reservation, you should make one because we only seat about 10 people maximum, but ideally I wanna seat 6 people. So it's very small, super tiny, and I wanna make sure when you come, you're gonna have great food and interesting food, and it's consistent and locked in, and that's what we're doing for this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Okay, today, my two big things today. I wanna write down a recipe for a mamruk meatloaf, or originally it was a mamruk meatloaf, but today we're gonna try to make it as a mamruk meatball and see if that still works in terms of texture, contrast. I think the meatball will be very nice in terms of presentation. I can serve it as a small app where the meatloaf becomes more of like a, I could serve it as an app, but it feels more like a main in that format. So we're gonna try the meatball today. Beyond that, we're gonna do a batch of a coconut oil pound cake. So I've made a coconut oil pound cake in the past, and it was so good. And then the second time I made it, it was okay. So today we're going to try to make it so good again, but we're documenting everything gram for gram. I'm writing everything down. If you want all these recipes, you can become a member on Patreon or YouTube, and you'll get all these recipes that I'm banging out, and you can start your own pop-up and steal my stuff. Although I would love some credit if you take it. Okay, let's get started. But if anyone doesn't know, we do have Cyber Daddy in the chat. Cyber Daddy, I hope you're having a good time in America. We miss you over here, buddy. I'm watching some clips of us talking, and it's fun. I'm missing you, buddy. Okay, let's start. I got some stuff measured out already because I got to keep my secrets secret. Oh, look, I got new cameras, too. Look at that shot. Oh, no, let's go to the board. Let's go to the board, bro. I'm going to use a combination of sugar and palm sugar. So I got white sugar and palm sugar pre-measured out. The big thing about this cake, basically, I want to make a pound cake, but we're not using butter, so there's some difficulties in there. And this recipe started from an olive oil cake, and that's kind of what we've been tweaking to try to get our desired pound cake texture with strong coconut oil flavor. So I have sugar, white, and palm. I'm going to measure out my coconut oil now. How much coconut oil do we need? Oh yeah, that much. Okay, let me get my finger. And for the coconut oil, I always, for this kind of thing, if you're trying to make this style, I always want to use extra virgin coconut oil, not the refined stuff. I want the stuff that smells like coconut, because you can buy the other variety. This one, which is a refined coconut oil, and this has almost no aroma. None. So this is not what we want. We want the extra virgin coconut oil because we want the coconut flavor. Which is quite pricey, by the way. This is about $4 for this little container here. Even in Vietnam, it's freaking $4. Okay, so this is a lot of oil. Oh wait, I want to gram it. I want to gram it. I have this measured in freedom units, but I need to gram it out because we all know that grams are better than freedom units. Even though freedom units sound more fun. Okay, here we go. So if you don't know, a pound cake originally was a pound of butter, pound of flour, pound of eggs, and a pound of sugar. Very easy recipe, and it works. So there's a good amount of oil. Okay, let's do that. And then we're doing a tiny bit more, about 1 tablespoon. Okay. We're going to need some eggs. Do you like the classical vibes today? I'm going classical vibes. Ain't nobody can sue me or take my monetization away for classical vibes, I don't think. Okay, let me just write this down. I have everything else written down, but this one I need. All right, we're going to add eggs to this. I should probably gram the eggs out too. Jenny, what are you saying here? What we asking? I've been following you for a minute. Jenny, I don't know what you're saying. But if you ask, I usually deliver. Maybe a few months later, but I typically deliver. All right, we're going to go 4 eggs. And these eggs are about 50 grams each. Bada bing. Okay, 200 gram egg. All right, let's give this a little whiskeroonie. I got my grandma whisk, of course. Always have your grandma whisk available. One of my favorite questions here, this is so funny you just asked this. Chef, do you think you'll ever make a focaccia or a twist on a focaccia for service? Well, I'll tell you one thing. For the dinners that we're doing in the space now, I really want to have a good bread basket. A bread basket to me is something rather important, rather nostalgic. I feel like we're losing bread service in Western culture for our restaurants, so I don't like that. So bread is important to me. I'm going to serve at least 3 breads anytime someone comes and eats in this space. Have I played with focaccia? Yes. In fact, yesterday, I made a focaccia with pho broth. Only pho broth as the liquid. And I called it a focaccia. It was okay, honestly. The texture was fantastic. The flavor of the pho wasn't that strong in there. And the broth, because it was a sourdough, things were fermenting over time on the table. And it just got too sour. So if you're thinking we have like a meat stock that's sitting out for hours to get that fermentation of the sourdough, it was a little too sour. I didn't love the flavor. I'm gonna try it again with the pho spices and not using the actual pho broth and really loading with the spices. But yes, I have tried it. We'll continue to try. I'm writing all that down and tweaking it. And I also made a durian sourdough as well. Again, not a success yet. But I'm on this game. I'm on this game of like signature dishes, which is not something I've ever been driven to do. I never wanted to have a signature. I always wanted to make something new. But now in this dinner space, I don't want to be chasing every single week, trying to make new dishes every single week and kind of having it, having some that hit and having some that are just okay. I really want to have everything really solid when you're coming in, and I want people to see stuff and be like, yo, I really want to try that one. Can you make that again? Yes, I can. I know exactly the recipe. So that's the game. Chef has played with his focaccia so much he might go blind. I don't think there's any concern with that one. What else did we make before? We made like a lapsang focaccia, the Chinese sweet sausage focaccia. That was great as well. That was probably the best so far that everybody loved. Having a great time, but miss CKSK lunchtime. Don't miss the heat though. Heard that, Cyber. Okay. Eggs, sugar. Let's mix it. Let's mix it. I believe this is all my final steps here. Yeah, olive oil, eggs, and sugar. Okay, mix it. So we're gonna try to incorporate this well until everything is dissolved. So inside here we just have white sugar, palm sugar, eggs, and virgin coconut oil. Look, you can even take a screenshot of my secret recipes. Good luck reading it. We have a big problem. Now I'm trying to document everything I'm doing recipe-wise. And I'm writing everything down. The issue is no one can read my handwriting, barely even me. So now I have to dictate what I did. I have to read it to the best of my ability, dictate it to AI, have it transcribe, and then send it to my sweet wife there to document it digitally. I've been trying very hard to write better, but I just hate writing so much. I have physical discomfort and pain every time I try to put a pen to paper. It is not my strength. Baby Panda, love your family content today. Thank you so much. And that's part of the strategy now. So if you see, like, I've changed my channels a little bit. We have Chad Kubinoff Vlog, which is the main channel. And with that, I really am trying to make a family vlog. I like the family vlog, keep it natural. I think it's a positive thing. Hopefully it inspires young people to have kids. I don't know, I think it's a good thing. So that's it. And then CKSK will be a little bit more cooking focused. All right, so let's mix this up a little bit more. Make sure we're super incorporated. And the big thing with the palm sugar is it's so thick. So I just want to make sure it's evenly distributed. All right. This song playing is always used at weddings. It is. I just feel so good. One day, I'm going to get 100 acres in America. I'm going to have a big property, and I'm going to sermon weddings. And I can't wait to, like, bring two loves together. That's always been a little bit of a dream. I think that'd be fun to do. I think I'd be good at it, too. Okay, vanilla, lemon. Okay, here we go. Vanilla, we're just going to do a little teaspoon. I'm not going to... I should document it, huh? All right, screw me. Let's do it. You're right. You're right. Document. Okay. Okay. And then this is a little bit of a hard recipe to try to manipulate when we're trying to go from a olive oil pound cake. Just because we're going... Typically an olive oil pound cake will have some acidity. We'll have lemon usually inside, lemon zest. I'm not adding any citrus to this. I don't want to add citrus to this. So I'm substituting lemon juice for coconut water. And then there's also milk, and I'm substituting coconut water for coconut milk as well. So we kind of have to play with the extra fat of the milk. We'll see how it works out. I do have high hopes. So we got vanilla inside. We have all of our coconut water going inside now. Coconut water going in. And that should be it. We'll give this another mix. Chad, what do you think about the overwhelming amount of expats in Da Nang? I personally don't know how many expats there are. Is it really overwhelming or not? I don't know. I'm not living there, so I can't comment on that, if it's truly overwhelming. I'm sure in certain parts it may be overwhelming. And I definitely, it feels like there's a demand online for, what do you call these, like online workers living there. It's good, it's bad. Just if you're in a new country, just be a good foreigner. Be a good expat. Like, don't be an asshole. We got a little bit of a problem. There's some major stories coming out with people being dicks and not respecting living in a foreign country. If you're in a foreign country, you're a guest. Don't be dumb, dude. You're gonna screw it up for everybody here. So I mean, I get it. I get why they're there. And I promise that Vietnam is not making it easy for any foreigner to live here. So even if there is a lot of, and that's purposeful in my opinion. So even if there is a lot of foreigners or just expats or travelers going through, I don't know how long they're gonna last. It's really hard to live here in terms of getting visas and living here comfortably and not always feeling like the stress over your shoulder of like, oh my God, I gotta do a visa run soon or there's issues. So I don't think it's a big deal. I think Vietnam's aware of it and they're cautious of making it too easy for foreigners to be here. Are you still doing weekly dinners? We are just starting them again. So our July is when it starts kicking up again, and that's why I'm here doing this right now, because I want to lock all this stuff down. I want to make sure that I'm very confident when people walk in, we're having solid food every time. But yeah, July dinners are starting again, and July 1st is the banh mi giveaway pop-up. So we are giving away 30 banh mi's July 1st here. All right, I'll release the address details soon later in the week. But first come, first serve, 30 banh mi's for free. It's the banh mi Chad, the banh mi that we made famous at Same in Philadelphia, caramelized pork banh mi. It's really good, super good. If you want to come, again, first come, first serve, July 1st. And the only thing we ask is that you take a bite. We're going to put a camera on you. You tell us what you think. That's it. Should be very fun. Instead of a pen, you should use a small dictation recorder to be transcribed later. Yeah, I think that would be a little hard to do live. The pen's faster, and I'll dictate it at the end of it. Chef, have you ever thought about selling a packaged frozen dish like something we could see in supermarkets? Yes and yes. Part of doing the banh mi pop-up, and potentially more, is really I think the marinade for the pork that we make for that is incredible. So I would love to sell that. And this chili jam, it's really good. So I would love to sell that as well. You can ask Freddie. Like, the chili jam is super fantastic. I had dreams of making a frozen bún bò Huế kit. I thought that would be really cool. It's hard though. It's hard. Like, just the thing about Viet food is there's so much freshness. It's hard to capture that in a frozen product. So I'm open to it, but it would have to be done well. For me, the easy first things are shelf-stable condiments. The marinade, the chili jam, and potentially a garlic oil would be what I looked at first. Chef, I like the Mr. Rogers vibe as the surprise guest that added to the content. I'm glad you liked it. We will, again, I've been trying to figure out how to use this space effectively and what do I want to do personally? What do I want to do? What am I proud of doing? And I think I'm excited about the direction we're going to go. It's just going to take me a couple weeks to get there. First thing is get the dinners moving comfortably, get this pop-up banh mi happening. Let's see how it works out. Let's see what it's like. And then we'll move on to the next stage of the live content. And I'll get into that in a little bit later. I don't want to do it right now. Okay, dough's in there. I have flour. I have salt. I have baking powder already measured out. I would love to get that camera a little bit lower on the next live stream. A little bit lower. That's fine. All right, so flour, flour, baking powder, salt inside. Is that everything? I believe so. We're just going to sift it. Yes, that's everything. Well, it's a very thin cake. I often, I make so much stuff, and I've made so much new stuff. Like every single week, I forget what I make sometimes. Okay, so this is going to get sifted in here. That's why I'm so glad we documented all the pop-up dinners and everything I do, I film. So at least I can remember. I can go back and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that thing. Oh, this flour is going everywhere. This is not a good situation. Let me get a spoon. I got to push this through. I'm going to do this incorrectly right now because that flour is going everywhere. A10, do I listen to rap music? If so, not much, honestly, not much. I do like old school hip hop a lot, a lot. I do like NWA. I don't know if it's the best messaging in the world, but I've rocked out to that a little bit. But typically right now, if I'm listening to rap, it's going to be old school hip hop. That tends to be my vibe. Yo, I got this AC on right behind me, and it is blowing this flour. Here, look, you can see how bad. Hard to see the flour on camera, but it's going everywhere. Crap! Not good. Listen, we got to change this up. Okay, we're going to do this poorly. But this is a disaster. So let's get this on this big one so we can move forward and not mess up all my cameras. I'm worried about dust flying over there. What are you looking for in a new video person? Tang gone. No, Tang's not gone. Tang's not gone. For the new live stream we're shooting, we just need a second cameraman. Tang wants to be able to focus completely and utterly on switching cameras and being ready. So we need someone who's holding a camera roaming. What do we need? Not much. Like, this is a very relatively easy camera operator position because we have all the equipment you're going to need, and all you need to do is hold one camera and roam. So we'll have you on a gimbal. You walk around, point the camera, Tang tells you. It's pretty simple. Okay, so let's mix this up. And then we're going to get a big-ass wipe down because I can't see my board and workstation like this. It's terrible. Bothers me deeply. I'm going to just mix this in until it's incorporated and try not to overmix it at all. I am shocked at how thin this batter is. I'm freaking out if I did something wrong here. I'm going to need that mixer. What is up with Michael these days? Michael is, where's my mixer, bro? Michael's building out a shop. Michael's opening a business. You can follow him at Retro Ride Saigon or 26-inch Lifestyle, either place he's there. And he's got a space in District 1 that is his, and he's building out, so it's very exciting. I think you can see his updates. He's close to opening. He's very close to opening. And definitely when he's ready, we'll go down and shoot something with him, give him a little promotion there. So originally this batter, you're supposed to add the lemon juice, which is a small amount, and then slowly incorporate the dry and the wet, which would be all the flour and the coconut water. But since I took away the lemon juice and just did extra coconut water, I probably shouldn't have done. I should have done it in stages. But it's no big deal. It's coming together. All right, I think we're going to call it there. So with this, all I'm really trying to do is test for the cake itself. I'm not making the completed dish. I just want to have a solid coconut pound cake that I know I can bust out every time, and from there I can build whatever I want on it. So I think obvious, like if I make a coconut cake and I put mango on top, I win, no matter what. Everybody loves that. So it's kind of a cheat code. I feel like if you put mango on stuff, it's kind of a cheat. So I know that's a killer. And I could also make some sort of passion fruit, or there's so many directions to go once I have a strong coconut cake base that I'm very confident with, that I know is delicious. Yo, this ain't the vibe. I can't do this one. Sorry, Ludwig. All right, let's get this in a cake, or let's get this baked off. All right, let me get it wiped down, bro. I'm dying with this board looking like this. Hey, chef, I'm a student. I saw on YouTube that you were live streaming, so I just came in to say these things, then leave. All right, goodbye. All right, well, it's been nice to have you here. He's studying. Chad, I saw Michael Girlfriend on the 40-minute wait last 2 to 3 family content video. I don't know what you're talking about, Baby Panda. I don't know what you're speaking about. I have no knowledge of that situation. If you happen to see a young female sitting next to Michael, it must have just been coincidence. All right, we're going to oil up our pan. Obviously, I'm joking. Okay. Oiling up the pan. Maybe one day she'll be a little bit more confident to be on camera with us, but I'll just tell you, she's a nice girl. Chad, what do you think about pranking content? Like pranking people into eating weird food? I'm not into it. I don't like pranking content. I don't like exploiting people for views. I'm not into it. If it was friendly, I guess, like if it's people I know, it's fine, but strangers ain't cool to me. But like people, if I know the people, then I'm happy to prank them or like get them to push their food eating boundaries. Like that's fun. Chad, do you listen to Vietnamese music in Ho Chi Minh City? Not much right now. Not is my favorite band, but they broke up, so I'm still recovering from that loss. I'm just getting some parchment paper for the cake. Okay, and I have my oven preheated at 350 already, so it should be good to go. Let's cut this down a little smaller. Sleigh Rider, I see you. It will happen. Okay, parchment paper's down. Look, you can see all that flour. Oh my God, terrible. Okay, get this in. It's gonna be quite a tall cake. I'm just wondering if I want to do this in a half hotel pan, or it's just gonna be a thick boy. Let's just make it a thick boy. We're already here. Let's make it happen. Okay. Pound cake in. Huge ass pound cake. Hopefully this is going to work out. So we will get this in our oven preheated already. We got MJD is excited to be here. Welcome. Good to see you in the house. All right, let's clean up this flour so I can breathe again. I'm so upset about this. Ah, yeah, look at my stream deck. Look at it. Oh, floured up. Oh, that was unintentional. Okay. Cool. We are good enough to continue moving forward. Still going to need a big-ass wipe down when we're done now. All right, so next we're going to do is start working on the Mam Ruk meatball. We're going to call it that. Sounds good to me. If you don't know, Mam Ruk is a type of shrimp paste here. And it's quite strong. Chew. Can we get a shot? Maybe. There it is. Mam Ruk. It's a very, very potent, powerful paste of fermented shrimp. I love it. I do love it. It is quite unique in flavor. Not something that most people enjoy right away, the first time they have it. And I guess in particular, there's a dish that I like called Hail Mam Ruk. That is minced pork cooked with this, a lot of lemongrass, a lot of sugar, and it is incredibly salty, incredibly funky, and incredibly sweet. It's hard to eat all by itself because it's so strong and so salty. So you always eat it with cucumber and rice. It's delicious. In fact, I think I might make it tonight for dinner. It sounds good to me right now. And that's what this idea or this dish is based off of. It's trying to make that dish, the mamruk, the pork mamruk, or the pork shrimp paste, and put that in a Western format or a Western presentation that makes it more comfortable for Westerners to try or foreigners to try for the first time, and hopefully bring their level up so they can then try the original dish at some point. And I also think it's cool because I think people, Viets, will appreciate it too, because it's a unique dish using the flavors that they know or they created. Chad, have you tried Bandit Ram going super viral in America right now? Yes, Bandit Ram is my favorite Hue dumpling. I think it's incredible. I'm very glad to see it gain some notoriety and popularity. And the ones that we're seeing in America look good. They're so big. They look awesome. So I'm down for that. We did have some people recommend making like a Mexican Bandit Ram, which I thought was a good idea. And the other one was a dessert Bandit Ram, another good idea. So that's probably going to happen here soon. I'm going to play with that. I think that's really fun. Tree County, behave a new job for how the Pocket 3 and aim. Wait, what? Tree can try? Is that what you're saying? Tree can try for the new job? No. That's not going to happen. It'd be nice. It'd be a wonderful thing if that was the case. But no, that's not a reality we're in right now. Unfortunately. World Cup fans not tipping while in the U.S. leads to restaurants automatically adding 20% tips. What's your reaction to this headline? That's interesting. I did hear that they weren't tipping. So that's interesting. And obvious, like, right? That makes sense. And I understand the restaurant's adding 20%. Yeah, what's my reaction? I get it. I get it. American restaurants are built off of the mandatory tip. That's what we're built off. That's the pricing. That's how it's built. So, but I bet you there's going to be a lot of Europeans coming in. They're freaking out about that, but I get it. Oh, wait. Pop-up dinners are making a comeback? Yes, they are. I'm not going to promise that they're going to be consistent every week for a year or something. They may. It really depends on how much I'm enjoying it and how hard it is. I know it's hard, but I do enjoy it. And that's why I'm very happy to only cook for like 6 people. I think that's going to be a great number. It's going to be me and my wife running it with 1 dishwasher, so I like that part. But I don't know if it's going to be every week. It might be twice a month, but it could be 4 times a month. Right now, we're open. We're doing 4 times a month, but we'll see how it works out. That's funny. Does anyone else in your family sweat as much as you do? My daughter does. My daughter's, she's got a little daddy inside of her with her sweating genes. All right, for the mamruk meatloaf, we're going to start with a lot of lemongrass. So we're going to start trimming this out. Let me get my big knife. I'm going to need the big boy. Anytime you're doing lemongrass, it's always good to use a big knife. And by, whoa, what's going on here? And by big, I mean strong. Something thick and heavy. Like if I use my favorite knife, my thin guy, it just doesn't have enough weight to deal with the strength of the lemongrass. Game plan here is to make a seasoned meat loaf kind of mixture, a seasoned meat mixture, and then also make a mamruk sauce. We're going to cook the meatballs separate, add them to the sauce, and then finish them in the oven. That's the plan, because we're going to try to make this as much like a meatloaf as possible in terms of the cooking of it. Because the meatloaf was a great success, and I'm just trying to change the shape of it, really. Basically, it's going to be like a round individual meatloaf. That's kind of the game plan. Okay, so we'll just peel the outer layers of the lemongrass out, and then I'm going to chop this up fine, and then I'm going to throw it into the food processor to get it even smaller. So we do have a couple things we're working on. I gotta curate a classical list. I like all the classical, but I don't need the high drama. Oh, this one's good though. Kind of a banger here. I don't know if I just put on the Chef's Table classical song over and over again, the Vivaldi song. I'd be happy to cook for that for 8 hours a day. That'd be fun. I feel like I'm on Chef's Table nonstop. All right, does this seem like enough lemongrass? Yeah, let's do one more. And I'm gonna measure everything, don't worry. Okay. All right, I think that's gonna be, maybe I should just do another one just in case I need it. Okay. That's the last one, I promise. There we go. I can't do too much. TikTok might be upset. I have a question. Are you making these dishes for lunch? Because it's quite late for breakfast now. I'm making these dishes for prep. I'm making these dishes for research, I guess you could say, or dish development. By chance, they will get eaten for lunch, but this is not something, it's not my goal or my intention. All right, so we're gonna go through and cut this lemongrass as tight as I can. Michelle, I see you. How are my herbs growing in the garden? They're good. And I gotta say, it's really my wife. I'm very proud of my wife. She's been really developing her green thumb. Her black thumb is slowly turning a little bit of a brown greenish color. So I'm very happy and I'm very excited for my wife to enter her new stage of my little farmer who grows all of our produce. It's very exciting. All right, so we'll go through. Because I'm going to throw this in the food processor, I'm not too concerned about getting this ultra minced at this moment. But it's always nice to give your food processor a head start because this lemongrass is such a rough ingredient. Oh my God, I should set a timer, huh? That would be a good idea for the cake. That would be a fantastic idea. Let's start it at, let's say we've been in for about 4 minutes already. Set it at 20 and we'll turn it. Yeah, that's okay. Temperature's on point. That's good. Again, cutting this as thin as I can. Hi, Chad. Your pound cake will be better this time. I hope so. I hope so. It was, the first time I made it, it was amazing. It really was fantastic. The second time was good, not great. Because I just continue to tweak it. You know, it's different recipes going on, trying different things. The first time it was based off of an olive oil cake, and the second time was based off of a pound cake, and that was much harder to convert. So we're doing the olive oil pound cake again, or the olive oil cake again, and hopefully we get a good result. You know, I have some thoughts. Maybe we'll try it. Hopefully it's going to be good. But I may try it again with lime juice in there, or calamansi juice in there. But I would prefer to not have the citrusy notes if I can get away with it. Okay. And we're using a good amount of lemongrass because we're going to do lemongrass in the meatball and in the sauce as well. So you do need it in both places. Whoa, we're crushing here. Another stream, another ask for the best French fry video in Ho Chi Minh City. Keep asking. Keep asking. It's not at the top of my list of things I need to get done. Right now, not right now. And right now, I'm really not traveling much. We're saying really District 7, District 4. The French fry video, we still got to get to District 1. District 1. There's a spot called Fries in District 1 that we have to try. If your spot is called Fries, I think we got to try that one. All right, last piece. Okay, we're going to throw this all in the food processor. I got my food processor. If you don't believe me, how far does that go out? That far. Okay, I can bring this here. Ah. Okay, we're going to blitz it. You can turn on, bro. There we go. All right. And I got my converter. Hopefully this food processor can handle this without a problem. Switch it to the big screen on CKSK. That's what I'm talking about. Here's my little man. What's up, my little man? Hello, what's up? Cake. All right, I'm locked in right now. Turning this thing on. Go. I'm seeing I am Tang the man. Is mic's an issue? Can you guys hear me or not yet? Is there a problem with the mic? Does the olive oil pound cake recipe include yogurt? The French after-school yogurt cake uses olive oil and it's really good. No, there's no yogurt in it. I thought about adding it. I had some. It was definitely in my thought. The French after-school yogurt cake, I've never heard of that. Is that the name of the cake? Can I look that up? If I'm not happy with this recipe, I'm going to tweak it. So I can start from the French after-school yogurt cake. We'll see. I'm going to blitz this a little bit more, though. I want to try to get this as fine as we can. When are we having Chef Rang in the studio to cook? I'm literally in my bed last night thinking about Chef Rang. I love Chef Rang. I got to reach out to him. I haven't seen him in a while, and I think he's going to love this space. It's even better than the previous spot. So, the same thing, I know he's busy too. Once you have a restaurant, your life kind of gets taken over. But he'll come out, I'm sure. I know he had a good time last time. Okay, let's call it there. It's good enough. Let's say it there. We'll get our board clean. What's the story on how you started Back of the Bike Tours? How did you end up selling it to Fred? My brother came to Vietnam for a trip. And basically I put him on my motorbike and just drove him around. And he told me, he said, you should do this. You should do this for people. You should take them around Saigon. Because Saigon's hard. It's a hard city to kind of get adjusted to and feel comfortable in. So I said, okay. And then my wife and I, we started a tour company called Back of the Bike Tours. And literally the first thing we did, we drove to the airport and people were coming out of the airport and we didn't know what we were doing. We were kids. We were so young and so shy and so nervous. We just went up to people and were like, you want to go on a tour? And they were like, no. And we were like, okay, see you later. And eventually, slowly, you get one tour and then you get word of mouth reviews and it slowly builds. It became I don't want to say a big company, but became a big company for me. It gave us a very nice lifestyle. And eventually Fred moved to Vietnam. He started working with us. He worked with us for a year or something, for a period of time. And then eventually we were getting ready to move back to America. And Fred became the manager of the company and then started becoming a partner to the company. And then eventually it just became hard to try to manage the company from America, and I was opening a restaurant at the time, so we sold the company to Fred. That's basically it. French yogurt cake or gâteau, a yogurt or yogurt, should bring it up 1, 2, 3, 4 yogurt cake. Use the entire container of yogurt and use the container to measure. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I like recipes like that. I like that. Chad, what's the address to the Bun Me pop-up? I'm going to release that today. I'll tell you later today. We'll be posting it on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you're following along, you'll get the address. Okay, lemongrass, let's do the thing. Okay. We're going to start to make our meatball mixture. I have some ground pork. because that's what this dish originally uses, is pork. So we're going to keep it straight. Oh, let's get a scale. What are we doing, Chad? Get a scale. Get a scale, bro. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Oh, I like this song. I can play this song. Okay. All right. Ground pork in. All right, we're gonna add some lemongrass right into this mixture. Not much, just a little bit in here. Because a lot of the lemongrass is gonna go in the sauce itself. It's gonna be quite potent there. And we're gonna add some mamruk, the shrimp paste, into the meatloaf as well. I'm just gonna keep calling this a meatloaf because that's how I think of it. Even though it's going to be ball shaped. So a little bit of the mamruk. This is very salty. How much do I want to add? I'm a little nervous. Don't add too much. Okay. The sauce is going to have a crap ton. The sauce is going to get super, super potent. Okay, we're going to add some garlic and shallot in there. We'll do a little bit of fish sauce. You're going to watch the new Bear season. I got to watch the old Bear season first. So I got to get caught up. I definitely will watch the new one, but I haven't seen any of the Bear. Any. So it seems like perfect live reactionary content to do. And I definitely will. Do MSG. Just know if you do want to make a reservation at the pop-up, I use MSG. And if you don't want that, you gotta let me know. When you come to pop-up, I cook completely free unless you give me specific requests or allergies. Okay, we're gonna do eggs in here. Meatloaf, to me, meatloaf and meatballs, it's always like a lot of eggs. That's kind of, I don't want to have a meatloaf that's really firm or solid meat. That's not the game plan to me. I want to have a good amount of eggs and a good amount of filler because it makes it so much more tender in a nice way. Okay, let's do this. I think I'm going to do 3 eggs into this mixture. Maybe 2. Maybe 2. Let's start with 2. I might add another one, but let's start with 2. And let's get a hand on here. And we're going to chop up some garlic. We'll chop up some garlic and shallot as well for this. Okay. Now MSG is goated. I agree with that. I agree with that. Too much yelling on the Bear turned me off. Dark Knight doesn't like the yelling, huh? It just might feel nostalgic to me. Might put me to sleep. I think the real thing that would bother me is the sound of the ticket printer. That would trigger me more than any yelling. Let's do all the shallot. Okay, that seems appropriate. Shallot, garlic-wise, yes, that feels appropriate. All right, let's gram it. Do you remember any absurd requests while working in restaurants? Sure. Let me think about that for a second. Of course, there's always absurd requests. Okay. Absurd requests. Usually it's like, I mean, people just ask, what would people say? They would be allergic to green things. That I've heard. Or like, and there's been more than that. They're just allergic to colors. That was something. And then the people would be no MSG, but then they would be okay with tomato and Parmesan cheese or anything like that. That wouldn't be a problem for them. So that's kind of a little funny. Anything else? Dude, you stole my playlist. Dark Knight, it's a good one. I'll keep thinking, see if I think anything else pops up for that. Is your wife the only Vietnamese girl you dated? Yes. Yes. Yes, that's true. Do you ever crave or eat Thai food much? I think about Pat Krapao at least once a week. Yes, yeah, dude, absolutely. I like Thai food. Do I crave it? Not much, but I always enjoy it. I think my wife craves it more than I do, but I never say no. I like it a lot. We like, what's the soup? Tom Yum. Tom Yum's fantastic. It's a fantastic broth. And I like Thai food because I like to see how they do their fish sauce dipping mixtures. They have a lot more. I feel like the dipping sauces in Thailand are more interesting. There's so many chunky stuff inside. Raw shallot, galangal, all kinds of stuff. Like they put so much chunks in. I like all that. And I like to see how they use the same ingredients that they have in Vietnam, but in a different way. So I definitely enjoy it. Sanctuary Play, that's a good idea. Put the ticket printer on the soundboard. That's a good idea. I'll definitely tell you that the show that Tang and I are talking through and planning out now, it's going to be a high-pressure, time-sensitive show. So the ticket printer could be a very useful sound effect in that moment. So I'm just going through and mincing the garlic and the shallot as small as I can, quick as I can too. Oh, there's one guy, I worked at a diner for a short period of time. And it was not my proudest days, but I did. I worked at a diner for a period of time. It was an interesting, highly interesting experience. Highly, highly interesting experience. And people that go to diners, I should say regulars at diners, are very unique people who are very particular. And if you have somebody who comes to the same restaurant at the same time every single day for the last 20 years, they're very particular about what they like, about their eggs and their toast. And there was one gentleman who was very particular about how his toast was cooked and then how hot it was when it was given to him. So like the whole kitchen panicked because he kept sending back the toast all the time. Always would send back toast. So when he came in, the whole kitchen shut down. And as soon as the toast came out of the toaster, you had to pull it out of meaty butter and go. Like, it was so crazy. I'm so different to that type of personality. So I always found it fascinating, these guys who would be there at 6 a.m. right at opening, and they ordered the same thing every single day. Very, very unique. Not something I can relate to, but it was interesting to be in that situation for a period of time. Okay, shallot and garlic is looking good. We're going to put that into our bowl. And the last thing we're going to add in here is breadcrumb. And actually, this is banh mi crumbs. I always have a lot of banh mis, so I always make breadcrumbs out of the banh mi. So I have a banh mi crumb. How perfect. I'm just eyeballing everything, measuring by gram, and then I can come back and tweak it. Okay. Let's mix this up. We'll see what the texture looks like. We'll try one, check the seasoning on it. Ooh, I can smell that mamaruk. Wow. So I can feel this. It feels a little bit loose to me already. I want to add some more breadcrumb into here probably. It's a little, like in terms of a meatloaf, this is kind of an okay texture. But for a meatball where I needed to hold its shape, I do need a little bit more breadcrumb in here. Although the other thing is if I let it sit for a couple of minutes, the breadcrumb should absorb the moisture and thicken it out a little bit. When I line cook at Fuddruckers, half-pound burger, specifically ordered 10 seconds, flip 10 seconds, take off. Whoa! That's not enough. That's definitely not, it's not enough, and it's not enough for a chain restaurant ground meat burger. I don't know how much I would trust the ground meat at a chain restaurant like that, although Fuddruckers was top tier. I did like that. I wish Fuddruckers was still around. It was pretty fantastic. We'll do a little more breadcrumb. I just always remember at Fuddruckers the cookie. That was such a good idea for kids. Like, you give me a cookie, I want to come back. Okay, let's start there now. I'm writing with my left hand on that in my notebook. It's even worse than normal. Okay, this feels good texture-wise. We can feel like this is it's gonna hold its shape. So let's try one patty out, see if the seasoning's on point, and we'll move forward. I can check my cake as well. All right, so we're gonna go over to here. We'll heat this up. And we'll try one of these out. David Harris, what are we making, Chad? Right now we're making a Mamruk meatball. A pork-based meatball with shrimp paste. And this is based off a traditional Vietnamese dish that I've made in the past, and it worked out really well, so I just want to lock down the recipe. Timer, heard that. I got you. All right, I'm going to throw a little bit of hunk down here so we can try it. Check the seasoning. While that's going, we'll check our cake. Super soft right now. Still needs a lot of time. Okay, give it another 20. I'm going to turn down the oven slightly. I see the edges of the cake starting to brown, and the center's quite thin at the moment. All right, we're checking that. We're good there. What is Mamruk? Mamruk is one of the two most popular shrimp pastes in Vietnam. Very thick, purple, funky stuff. Basically, shrimp put into a barrel with some salt, left to ferment for a long time. And that's it. That's the product. So it's a rather strong flavor. But I think it's quite delicious. Would you say you've gained weight since moving to Vietnam? It's hard with all that food. I've gone through many cycles here. When I first got here, I lost a lot of weight. Partly because I got sick. And I was like, everything came out. But I did lose a lot of weight. And then when I went back to America, I gained weight. And when coming back to Vietnam, I've just kind of been steady at that point. There is so much great food here, but the food is much lighter. So we don't, it's much better to eat than typically what you're going to eat in the States. So it's not like it's crushing me. This is the question of the ages, sheets or Wawa. Wawa? I don't think there's a question about, I don't think there's a better answer than Wawa. Although I haven't been to Wawa in a couple years. So I don't know how the quality is. I heard they have pizza now and stuff. But Wawa is definitely, I'm a northeastern kind of guy. Okay. Why are you hiring a new cameraman? Does Tang need an assistant? Yep, we need an assistant. We need someone so Tang can focus purely on the stream and switching cameras. And the show we're working on is going to be a lot more involved and a lot intense, I guess I would say. So Tang doesn't want to have to be thinking about holding the camera, moving around too. Would the smell be too overwhelm the guests? Even as a Viet, sometimes I can't even stand Mamruk. It definitely is unique to the guest. The way that I make this, it's not as strong as like Hale Mamruk, the traditional dish. It's a milder flavor. So people are open to it, and I think I sell it well, and I prepare them for this is something you never had. I promise you this flavor is something you never had. So people come into it open-minded. And because I'm doing this, if I make this dish, the balls and the sauce are going to be made either the day before or early morning, so the actual cooking of it is not happening while they're here, so the aroma's not as strong. Because when you do cook this, the aroma is strong, like no joke. So basically we're reheating it on the moment of, on the pickup, so it's not as big of a deal. All right, let's flip this over, give this a little taste. This was Fuddruckers 30 years ago when they butchered the carcass live. So the ground meat was, whoa, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. I don't remember that about Fuddruckers. There was only one close by to where we lived. I've probably been there 5 times when I was a kid. That's awesome though. I wish that stayed around. What was the first Vietnamese food you ever made besides banh mi? The first Vietnamese food I ever made. I'm gonna guess it was gỏi cuốn. Because I'm just trying to think. I probably made something when I was like a young kid. I was probably like 18 or 20 when I first moved to Chicago. And a gỏi cuốn, I remember doing that. I remember wrapping in rice paper. I made gỏi cuốn before I made a banh mi, that's for sure. All right, sausage feels good. I'm just checking this out a little bit. All right, I think it's there. We'll come by and taste this. Turn the heat off. And we'll give this a little taste. Let's see how the seasoning is. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I taste the mamruk. It's not crazy strong. It's a nice kind of seasoning in there. Seasoning's on point. It really is on point. Okay. Sometimes you hit it on the first try. I'm in. I love the Rice Krispie treats they made at Fuddruckers. Dude, I don't remember that either. All I know is the cookie. Okay, that's great. Okay, I'm into that. Let's work on the sauce. Actually, I'm going to scoop the meatballs now. We're going to fry them. That's a good portion. All right, let's scoop these out. We'll start frying these as we make the sauce. Can you explain the water basin keeps utensils clean? I'm just so curious. How your water basin? Yeah, let me show you. So this right here, they call this like a ice cream scoop dipper. And this thing drips water into this container. And then there's holes inside of here. Oh, not like that. There's holes inside, so it's constantly overflowing, and then the water goes out and drains down there. So there's a drain right below that, and the water gets out of here. So there's constantly new fresh water always cycling into that, and that's it. Rinses out any particulates. You can have hot water running into there too, so you can help with the sterilization there. I can always throw a little bit of soap in there or a little bit of a sterilization liquid in some way to help sterilize these. So when I'm busy, if I'm really doing service, I can keep this thing just high, just running all the time, so there's always new water, and I can just turn it off if I'm not really dirtying spoons at the moment. That's really it. That's the best option there is to try to keep your utensils clean that I've seen. And the other option is basically you fill up a bucket with water, put your stuff in there, and then change the water every 20 minutes or every hour, which sometimes is the best that you can do, but is obviously not that amazing for cleaning. So I absolutely prefer that water well. But that's $120 for a little piece of metal. or basically a tiny little sink. Do you ever use tinned fish in recipes? It's tinned fish common there. I don't particularly use it that much. I do like anchovy, so I will use anchovy in some recipes. But it's not something I reach towards all the time. It's not a natural ingredient or food that I look forward to or crave. I typically like, if a tinned fish, I prefer something salty that I'm using as a seasoning agent to get some oceanic salty flavors in there. And I almost think of anchovy and fish sauce as interchangeable, basically the same thing. So I'll use them in that way. Tinned fishes, there's a very popular tinned fish here, which is is it a mackerel? I think it's a mackerel cooked in tomato, which they eat straight from the can, usually with a banh mi. So most, I don't want to say, it's hard to say most. There's a certain style of banh mi shop. There's a lot of different styles of banh mi, and there's a lot of different style of banh mi vendors. But kind of the basic banh mi vendor, the banh mi vendor that's going to serve fried egg and a simple sliced cold lunch meat, they usually will have cans of the tomato mackerel, and you could order that as well. It'd be a common thing where you just get the can opened up and they put it in the bread. Or you can have the mackerel on like a hot plate with some beef and onion, and they serve the bread on the side. All right, we're just scooping our, no, that's the wrong board. We are scooping our meatballs using our perfect portioning tool that we all love, the ice cream scoop. I guess the one thing I am aware of with the water well or the water basin to clean the utensils, I don't put raw meat products in there. That's one thing. Like I'm aware of when something touches a raw meat item and cross-contamination. So that kind of stuff never hits that water. I'll wash that separately in the sink over here when I have time. Okay, boom, that's out. And we are going to start cooking these off gently. Hungarian, nice. I've been tasting food as a cook as much more since I've been watching your streams. That's a great thing to hear, Hannibal. I'm very happy to hear that. That's the secret. That's how you get better. Like, tasting is the number one skill. This is the number one skill. It's pretty damn high up there. It might be the number one skill. Yeah, I'm going to say it's the number one skill to become a better cook. You have to taste everything all the time. That's how you know if stuff is good or not. Like, I'd rather have a cook who understands taste and seasoning more than someone who's great with a knife. I'd rather your knife cuts are bad, but you understand flavor and you know what something needs when you're trying it. I think that's more important. Okay, so I'm going to try to get these meatballs just on like low heat, really low heat, and we'll roll them out. And I want to take my time. I could even, you know what? I think I'm going to put them right in the oven. I think I'm just going to shape them in this pan and then put them in the oven so they can slowly roast and I won't have to flip them and they should be able to keep their shape nicely. That seems like a good idea. My oven's already on and ripping. So I think I'm down with that. These are so good, by the way. Really, I like. They're not overwhelming in flavor. They still taste like pork. That part's good. But a little bit of mamaruk that's seasoned well, and the lemongrass is nice in here. I'm into it. And this is a good portion. I feel like for an appetizer, I give you one this size. That's a cool thing. You won't get too full. All right, last one. We'll get our clans clean, get our boards clean. Okay. Get this out. And I do think I like the idea of throwing this in the oven, so I'm going to do that in a second. I like the classic, man. I'm banging out with this. All right, let's throw this in the oven now, just like this. So we're going to take these as is, long run, without flipping at all. The pan is hot on the bottom already. We know that. So this is going straight in the oven. All right, the cake looks good. I'm checking the cake. It's still a little jelly in there. We'll give it some more time. We're going to start working on the sauce for the meatballs. And once again, I'm not trying to work on the completed dish of the mamruk meatball. We're just trying to nail the meatball and the sauce. Originally, or before, when I completed this dish, I served it with polenta and dragon peas, and that worked out well. So I may do the exact same thing again. I like the idea of serving with polenta. I think that's cool. I think that crosses borders in a good way, and it makes sense polenta-wise with a meatball. We're kind of Italian Viet fusion. It works out that way. I've also served this when it was a meatloaf form with macaroni cheese too, with like a Viet style mac, and that worked out. But I think the polenta is a little cooler to me, in my opinion. Bun me, not bun me. Oh, I see what you did there. Yes. How about your baking trays? Why? How are your baking trays so shiny? I don't know. Usually, I don't do much with these in terms of baking. Usually, I kind of use them as a portioning tray, so they don't get that dirty. So that's kind of the way. I promise you, it's not like I have some super amazing dishwasher in the back doing it. This one is a waltz, yes. Have you cooked with Dubai or carbon steel? No. I don't know. I think I've heard of the brand, but no, I haven't. Nice content. Thank you, Valerie. Appreciate that. What is the sauce that go along with the mamruk meatball? We're making it right now, Tuan. Let's do it. Let's do it. Perfect leeway. All right, so let's see how much lemongrass we're going to need. All right, sauce. Document. Document. The sauce is going to be... Do I have ketchup? Let's see if I have ketchup. Yes, I do. This is probably like one of the only times I would use ketchup. It is very rare that I would do that. But originally this was based off of a meatloaf, and a meatloaf you do use ketchup. It's like a normal thing. So I will put a little bit in. Nothing crazy. And we'll use pork fat because pork fat's good. All right, and we got our lemongrass. Let's measure out the lemongrass. Should be a pretty simple sauce. It does take a good amount of lemongrass. Let's just bring it to an even number. Okay. Call it there. Okay. All right, so we're going to start frying our lemongrass in pork fat. And then we're going to add the mamruk and sugar. A lot of sugar, a lot of mamruk. The mamruk is incredibly powerful with its salt level and its funk. And anytime you have a funky item, a way to balance funk is sugar. Sweetness can balance funk. So when you have something highly fermented, sugar is a good strategy on how to tame it a little bit, how to work with that fermentation, that super funk you got. Okay. So this is just pork fat I'm using for my oil here. We're going to go straight pork fat. And we're going to try to get a little bit of color on the lemongrass. So I'm going to add all the lemongrass right into the pan now. And I want to get some toasty notes. I want to see a little bit of browning on this lemongrass before we move forward to the next step. And I didn't use all the lemongrass, if you couldn't tell. There's some in here. I didn't use it all. No, not tomato, I'm guessing. No, there's going to be a little bit of tomato, though. Not too much. I'm in Ho Chi Minh City for 1 week. Any chance I can book a meal? Only one person, no. What week are you here for? If you're here right now, unfortunately, no. But July 1st, we will be doing the banh mi pop-up, so you can come and get a free banh mi right here. First 30 people. First come, first serve. Only 30. July 1st, Wednesday, July 1st. So if you're here Wednesday, July 1st, you can get it yourself. A wonderful, fantastic caramelized pork banh mi from me. But in terms of dinners, the dinners aren't starting till July. July 4th is already booked out, fully booked. We've been doing them every Saturday is the game plan. Oh, is that Dad? Yeah, so July 4th, no, the dinner's fully booked. But you could, yeah, July 1st on Wednesday, there's a free banh mi with your name on it, if you can be one of the first 30 people to show up. And we've been doing them we're taking reservations on Saturdays. So the following Saturday after July 4th, which I guess is July 11th, I guess, is, I think, 4 people so far. And really, I want to do 6 people maximum. Okay, so we're frying this lemongrass out. Once again, there's pork fat in here and just the lemongrass. And I'm waiting to see a little bit of color. I want to see some color. Before we add the mamruk, I want to see some toasty notes in there. No more at-home cooking videos. I'm at home right now. This is my home. Tree is super... Oh, Tree is just the best. Absolutely. I have a bunch of D-Buyer carbon steel pans. They're incredible pans. I'll look at them. I'll look at that. I haven't seen that yet. Went to Nam Phuong today in Philly. They had bún chả. Hanoi's a special. That's cool. Did you get it? Was it good? It's hard to get the real stuff outside of Vietnam. Besides for pho and banh mi, that stuff's easy to make. But bún chả is not that hard to make either. It's just, do they give you enough herbs? That's the big question always. And are they using good fish sauce? Okay, this is starting to get fragrant, but we don't have the color I'm looking for yet. And I need a pan. Okay, I'm going to cut up a little bit of chili for this as well. Can I do 1? Is that going to be crazy? Is that too much? I like to have, when we do these dinners, I like to be the guy that always has chili and spice and heat. I want to have a lot of different heat options for you if you're a spicy eater. So I don't necessarily want to make this really spicy right away. So I'm just going to add one chili. Hopefully that doesn't... Hiya. I'm just worried it's going to be too hot. I'm doing it. Let's do this 1. That's nothing. It doesn't even register. All right, so we're going to cut up some shallot. We're going to cut up some garlic. We're going to cut up some chili for this, for aromatics. It doesn't even register. All right, 1 gram, I guess. Let's check that cake. So that's been 40 minutes on that cake now. It's starting to look good, but... Oh, wait, board, here we go. It's still, like the color's beautiful, but it's still got a jiggle to it, so we'll keep it in there. Okay. All right, and I want to get some garlic and shallot cut for this chili. 1 red. I'm not going to do too much garlic. This already has a lot of flavor, and I don't need the garlic to be the thing that's going to take over. I'm a garlic fiend, you probably know if you watch my stuff. But in this situation, I want the lemongrass and the mamruk to stand out more than garlic. Even the shallot, we don't need crazy amounts. Okay, the lemongrass is getting toasty. We need to start moving forward with this, so I'll show you that. We can see we're getting some darkness, we're getting some toasty. So next, we're going to add a lot of mamruk. Tear this out. Okay. It's going to be a decent amount here. Nearly the whole jar. Nearly the whole jar in there. I could probably do it. Let's just do it. Okay. Do I want to just add it all? That's my question. Okay, fine. All right, so just rinse this out. Oh, I didn't really want to add water to this. Part of this is I'm also trying to caramelize this mamrook too. So I added water to wash out the jar, but now I'm gonna have to cook out the water. That was not ideal, but that's okay. All right. All right, so we got the mamrook in there, we got the lemongrass in there, and now we're gonna add sugar. I'm gonna kick up the heat on here. And the sugar is gonna be a lot. No joke, like the sugar's a lot. Let's try there. Let's try there. Let's start there. Okay. We'll mix this up. Woo. There's that highly aromatic. I'm going to turn this on low for now because I want to first cook out that water that I just added in, which was a little bit of a bummer. And we'll get the water out of there first, and then we'll kind of fry the mamrook inside with the chili, with the garlic, with the shallot. Let me measure this part. Oh, I didn't write down how much sugar I just had. Oh, crap-oli. Shizer. I think I know what it was. Are you filming the banh mi pop-up? Yes, we are filming the banh mi pop-up. So that's part of the deal. If you want a free banh mi, you got to take a bite on camera and tell us what you think. Tang will be there with a camera, pointing at you. You eat it, you go, me like it, me no like it. Whatever you want to say is fine. Truth is always what we're looking for. We love the truth. But yes, Tang will be there. And it's going to be very discreet. It's going to be me out there with the grill and my wife. We're not going to have like big signs or anything. It's for the people that know. If you know, you know, and you get one. If you don't know, you're going to drive by and miss it. I think 20 is going to go really quick. And Jamin, I think you're right. I think that was about a half a cup to 3/4 cup of sugar. I just want the gram amount. That's what I really want, was the grams. And I'm trying to do this by not guessing, you know. I want to lock this down like 100%. And I can replicate it exactly when I like it. That mamrook flavor is getting out. The aroma's coming out. For soft polenta or set polenta that is baked or fried. Oh, for this dish, we'd make it with soft polenta. So it would be kind of be the mashed potato sort of element, the creamy element. All right, this mamrook is highly aromatic, very unique color. We can go more sugar. I'm almost doing double the amount of sugar, so that should give me a good guess. Yeah, so I think that was about right. Okay. Okay, so one, yep. Okay, we're gonna keep cooking that down. Chop our garlic, chop our shallot. Let's get that going. The 31st person is going to be disappointed, absolutely. So we will be live streaming the banh mi thing. Or we're gonna be shooting it for YouTube, but I also will have a camera out there live streaming. So you can see if you're watching the live stream like, oh, he's sold out, dude. It's not worth coming. Or I'll try to give you a heads up when I see if there's a line for me and be like, we're out, don't come, it's over. But yes, absolutely. I assume there's going to be a few people who are a little upset, but I'm doing what we can. I don't want to overextend ourselves. 30 banh mi seems like a good number that my wife and I can easily handle and not add too much onto us. And here, so I'm just working the shallots and the garlic really quick. That mamrook is bubbling over there. It still looks like there's water, so I'm just gonna let it go. The heat's on low heat, so it shouldn't be too much. And with the amount of sugar in there, it's kind of cool with sugar, especially in Vietnam. Like in Vietnam, we cook with so much more sugar than I did before. At Alenia, we cooked with sugar purely as a seasoning agent. So on your station, you'd have salt, pepper, and simple syrup. You would always be able to season with sugar. We season with sweetness. But in Vietnam, you actually kind of cook with sugar. And it's interesting, you can almost fry stuff in sugar. You can kind of treat sugar like an oil and put your stuff in there and caramelize in the sugar. It's interesting how it works. Hey Chef, excited for your dinner experience in 2 weeks. Are you coming, Kid Flash? Are you one of the people joining? Or are you just excited that it's happening? I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm like reluctant to do them because there's so much work. It really is so much work. But last time I did the pop-ups when we were going in the other studio space, even though I was working my ass off and really it took over 2 solid days of my life, and then the third day I just did nothing. It was my recovery day. I had so much fun. And every day when I was done, at the end of the stream, at the end of the pop-up, I'm working my ass off. I'm so tired. I'm sweaty. But on my drive home, I just felt good. I just felt like excited and proud. So hopefully that feeling will be there. And even though the work is heavy, I'll just be excited to be cooking and creating. Because even right now, that idea of doing the Bannet Ram, doing a dessert version of that is really exciting to me. I'd love to figure that out. All right, chili and garlic and shallot is going in now. We can see this bubbling. We're going to keep this cooking in here. Okay. Now we should be able to kind of brown or caramelize this garlic, shallot, and chili in here. I want to kind of fry it in there. There's still some moisture from the water. I can see that. I can tell by the bubbles how much water's still left in there, but it's almost out. Or almost down to just the sugar and oil. So that'll work out. And I probably will throw a little bit of ketchup in there. I'm not sure. My body says no. What is it? My mind says no, but my body's telling me yes. My body is telling me no. Okay. It was okay. A lot of yip gab, mint lettuce. Oh, that was for the bun cha? $18. Wow. Oh yes, I had this question for a while, but never asked. Your family, who can take spicy food the best to least? Me, I'm the best now. Before my wife was the best, and I couldn't handle that. That was unacceptable, so I had to conquer her, and I have conquered her. I eat more spicy than she does. Beyond that, my wife is second. Liam is probably third, or maybe even JD's third, and then Liam, then Tree. Tree's got the weakest chili palate. JD's chili palate's not bad. Not bad. She's impressive. You can also see with that water well with all my spoons keep in there. Even this dish where the mamarook is a very funky, funky flavor, I'm keeping all my spoons out of that well. My cooking spoons are not touching that well right now. Okay, so this is looking thick like a syrup at this moment. It's getting, the bubbles are getting tighter. I don't know how to explain it really. I'm looking at bubbles. I'm looking at the bubbles, and I know that when the bubbles get tight, the water's out of it, and I'm looking at the shine, and I know when it's really shiny, I know I'm looking at sugar and fat. I'm not looking at water anymore. So I know the water's basically out of here, and we are at a higher temperature, and we are starting to fry. Oh, I love this song. Oh, shit, it's a good song. What's this movie? Battle Royale? Oh my God, I gotta watch this movie again. Oh my God, my kids are gonna love it. Can't wait for the spice evolution of 10 chef custom made hot sauces at the table. There's gonna be a few. I have a lot of chilies back here. There's some other chili preparation I was gonna do today. We'll see if I have time to do it on stream or not. But I always wanna be that fine dining guy, that chef who's not scared of heat, who has heat in many different varieties available to anyone who wants it. And I really love it when people are here and we're eating something and they prefer a little bit more spice, and I can just be like, yo, I got all this secret stuff. I got all these secret jams. I got all this fermentation I'm working on. That's so fun. And it makes people feel excited and they feel special. Hey, Chef, it's a shame I'm not in Vietnam when you do your pop-up on me. It's on my birthday. Oh. Well, you can watch. Catfish in a clay pot is my favorite. I do love that dish. Drewski, never caught your live. Big fan. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for popping in. Same with that caramelized pork dish. Tik called chung. Yep. Chad, have you met a celebrity in Vietnam, foreigner or local? Ba, ba, ba. I'm trying to think of this guy. He's a big YouTuber, like 10 million followers. Nos Daily. I meant Nos Daily. Okay. Yes. What's this big investor guy? Is a big crypto guy. Not just crypto, but he was big into crypto. What was his name? Let me think of his name. Whoop. Okay, I got to pay attention right now. We're getting really dry. I'm thinking about the celebrity question still. In America, there's definitely more celebrities in America at the restaurants I was working at before. Holy crap, I got one. Hold on. Let me pull this off so I can not panic. Ferran Andrea, if you don't know, is the chef from El Bulli, one of the best restaurants in the world. He came to the restaurant that I got a job at when I first got here. So I got a job at a restaurant, and then basically a week later, he was at the restaurant. Luckily, unluckily, you can think of it any way you want, I was very sick on the day that he came. And I'm very happy about that because I was not happy about the food that we were putting out of that kitchen. I just got there. I was there for a week. I was the new chef there for a week. And I would have been so, and I was young, 21. I would have been so stressed and so uncomfortable to cook for freaking Ferran Andrea. So I was very glad I was very sick that day. I like incapable of coming in. That was a big deal. There's definitely some celebrity chefs coming around. I don't think there's been another like big person. I took what's the girl from the? No, not the blind goat. She's the blind chef. She was on Master Chef. Christina Ha. Christina Ha. I took her on a food tour. I drove her on my motorbike. That was really fun. She's an awesome girl. She's awesome. Don't think of anyone else. In America, there was the celebrities were coming there because they were coming to Eleni and Danielle. So we had celebrities all the time there. Do you bulk order meat, veg from the market, or do they have a Costco adjacent? There's a Costco adjacent called Mega Mart in District 2, but it's far from me, so I don't go there very much. I typically go to the market or the supermarket daily. That's kind of my normal thing. We don't really bulk anything. Good night. Oh, good evening, Chef. What's up, Nico? I love that Chinsu hot sauce because of you. It's good. Chinsu's good. Chinsu's the best bottled Vietnamese hot sauce right now for sure. Okay, so we can see that this looks really thick. Like, you can tell it's almost caramely. Almost like a caramelized or a jelly or a jam. That's what we're looking for. So I know the water is out of this situation right now. Let's try and see where we're at right now. It's sweet. It's strong. Salty. It's okay. Nothing crazy. Okay, good. Back on the stove. I'm going to turn this back on low heat. I am going to add a little bit of ketchup to this. The ketchup is going to kind of dilute the overall strength of this super, super potent sauce. And then we're going to add some water too. It's kind of silly. We cook the water out and we're adding water again. But we cook the water out so that we can get this mixture up to a certain temperature so that the sugar would caramelize, the garlic would caramelize, everything that's in there will caramelize, and then we will add the water back in there to make it out, thin the sauce out and make the sauce. Okay. It's kind of like, I would say that seasoning is the most important skill set to learn when you're cooking. And then beyond that, it's about heat and water. Understanding water and understanding heat. And then following that would be knife skills. I think would be the three most important skills you need to have or work on. Nos Daily follow-up though, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like when I met Nos Daily, he was a pretty nice guy. I didn't feel any weird energy. Obviously he's a businessman, you know, he's a busy guy. So he was very focused on what he was doing. And yeah, nothing weird. But then some of his videos at the end were kind of a little strange. His breakup with his wife was a little bit of a weird video. Chef, last time you said you wanted to work with China Mac girls from Vietnam. Have you made contact with them yet? No, no. No, not yet. But again, Tang and I got some ideas we're working on. I don't want to go too much, but we have some shows we're planning to do. But right now, for me, my main focus right now, pop-ups, get the pop-up secured, the banh mi pop-up as well. The dinner pop-ups that are going to happen here, and getting the banh mi settled. I would have liked to cook under Jose Andres. Correct. I would like to cook under Jose. I would not like to cook for Jose as the chef at a restaurant when I'm 21 years old and I just walked into a new restaurant. Even right now, like in this space, I'm pretty comfortable. And even like the food I'm making now, if Jose wanted to eat here, or Grant Achatz wanted to eat here, or Danielle wanted to eat here, or these big names, I still would be nervous. I'd be shitting my pants, man. Have you ever tried to go to any different districts besides D71? Of course. I've lived in D8, D3, Buntan district. I've lived all over the city. Christine was awesome in Master Chef. She's pretty cool. She's awesome. She's awesome. Very cool. I got that chinsu because of you. I hope you got some commission. Well, I didn't get commission on sales, but I did get paid to make some videos before. Okay, so I'm just frying this out. I can smell the tomato sauce or the ketchup in there now. Oh. And now it's like, it's just a strong flavor. It's very potent. I'm going to add some water to it at this moment. Okay, let's get some water in here. Where's a container? Here we go. Does that work? No, I can't use that. Hold on. We'll get something else. This will work. Okay, so we'll add this into here. I'm not measuring this part. The water I can judge. Okay, we'll bring this to a boil now that we have the water in there. We'll taste it again. We'll see how it's working. Let's check out our meatballs. Let's see how they're doing. Ooh, that cake, girl. Okay. So if you remember, we put these meatballs right in the oven without flipping them in any way. So now we got a little sear on one side. That's perfect for me. I'll take that. I'll take that. And because they're in the oven, they should have their shape kind of secured at this moment. They're cooking through in a nice way. Okay, cool. All right, so let's throw the balls into the sauce mixture now. And we'll let these guys cook in here. Okay. And I think this is going to be the kind of thing, we're going to cook this down. We're going to reduce the water in them and kind of let them glaze up a little bit. Will that work? Not really. I'm going to cook it at low heat, keep eyes on it, and then we'll just keep reducing the sauce down. And when the flavor is right on the sauce, this should be done. I like the meatball format. I think that's going to be nice. All right, let's check that cake too. We're close on the cake. Ketchup is such a meatloaf note. I agree. That's why I'm doing it. Like I really don't like ketchup in my house. I really don't let my kids eat ketchup too much. And I have some feelings about using it as like a fine dining cook or whatever. But sometimes it's just the right thing. It's part of the recipe. And for a meatloaf, it's part of the recipe in my view. Okay, let's get a little bit more organized. Because I can't take it. Ketchup goes, keep the ketchup out just in case I need to do it. Let's check that cake. Wow. Oh, it's split. So I think definitely would have been better to do this. Well, it didn't rise that much when I think about it. You can see the cake is looking nice, except that's split down the middle. Texture feels good. Let me check it with a chopstick here. I think it's still a little under. Yeah. But it's close, and the coconut flavor is good. Coconut flavor is good. What's a temp? We're at 170. We're good. Let's do another 5 minutes in here. All right, then we'll be done on that bad boy. Is salt not commonly used for French fries in Vietnam? Because I asked for salt in the countryside and they gave me sugar. Oh, that's very funny. That's very funny. Salt is very commonly used. But there is I don't want to say traditional. There is a style of French fry, especially when you're having it at a Bia Hoy or like a drinking spot, like one of these kind of street stalls where it's like drinking food, stir-fried food. They will serve French fries with a side of sugar and margarine. A little cup of margarine with sugar. What? That's, when I first had French fries here, that was what they served me the first time. I couldn't believe it. But that is a common thing. I think it's getting a little less common. You're really only going to see that at the super traditional spots. More and more you're just seeing French fries served with salt, or cheese powder is another option, which is not a good one in my opinion. But yeah, that's so funny they give you sugar. Chad, if your life is a movie, what would be the part where the audience says, wow? That's a good question. Huh. I think hopefully there's a couple wows in the life movie. I think moving to Vietnam for the first time was a pretty big wow. Being 19 years old, getting dropped off at the airport, and my parents are like, what the hell are you doing? And then just leaving your parents behind and walking to the airport, getting on a plane to a country you've never been to. That was a pretty big one. When we drove, after my first job in Saigon, I quit and I drove to Hanoi by motorbike. So I had my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. I had my girlfriend on the back and we're driving on a motorbike, driving from Saigon to Hanoi. And hopefully I could imagine a beautiful shot. Like there was a time where I was on my motorbike, I'm in neutral going down a mountain, big giant mountain. The mountain, you're driving down this mountain for an hour. So it's a huge mountain and you're zigzagging the whole way down the mountain. And I'm in neutral, so it's silent. The bike's not even on, it's just neutral. And I just have this shot of the mountains, rolling mountain hills, beautiful weather. And I'm just thinking to myself, my friends are at school right now. Like I remembered that moment very clearly to me. That was pretty incredible. I had a bad accident. I went under a trailer, tractor trailer when I was working at Alennia when I was 20, 19 or 20. I almost died there. I almost got my head cut off. That was a big wow for me. I like that question so much. I think I have a lot of wows, and I'm glad I have a lot of wows. I cook for Luke and Win at an old studio. The first time I lived here, I had a house. We had an apartment. We started doing private. We did like a supper club. We called it Underground Supper Club. Luke and Win came in to eat, and I thought that was a big deal for me at that age. I had a lot of respect for him coming in to eat, and he was excited about what I was doing too. That was really cool. To me, getting a job at Alennia was a big wow. Like I thought that was super exciting. It wasn't the High Van Pass. It was the road from Dalat to Nha Trang is where I had that feeling. I like that question. I want to think about that more because I got a lot. I just had this, you just gave me an idea, Lay, too. Are you Team Nuke Mia or Team Nuke Yua? Before I get into that, I like the idea. What if I put Nuke Mia in this cooking liquid for these meatballs? I think that'd be interesting. Even coconut water would be interesting. Anyway, Nuke Mia is sugarcane juice, Nuke Yua is coconut. Am I Team Sugarcane or Team Coconut? Nuke Yua, coconut water. 2 reasons why. Coconut water is just unbelievably incredible. When I drink it, it's unbelievably incredible, especially when it's cold. Just what a drink. It's so magical that it's just natural. The other thing is though, when I drink sugarcane juice, it's absolutely incredible. It's so good. But Tang told me that the god of performance doesn't like it when you drink sugarcane juice, and I am a performer. So I don't want to go against the superstition, so I try not to drink sugarcane juice because I'm supposed to not be good if you're a performer. Okay, fine. So I rarely drink sugarcane juice anymore, even though I love it so much. I'm taking the advice of my cameraman, my editor, Mr. Tang, and listening to that. Chef, those chefs love to taste something new. They get excited. I've seen it. Chef, those chefs love to taste. Yes, I understand. If I was cooking for some big dogs in here, I would I know I'd be giving them new flavors, so they'd be excited. And especially now that I'm locking in these recipes, I'd feel confident with what I'm making because I know it's good. I still would just be nervous. These are just guys that I look up to and respect to and watched as a young man trying to become a good cook. So I would have fear no matter what. I think that's just part of the game. But yes, I know they would be excited to try new stuff. And I think I could definitely introduce them to new flavors. And I would feel good about that too. Because even if I'm cooking for like Gordon Ramsay and I'm making him something here, I know I have a bigger base of knowledge on this flavor and this cuisine than he does. So I could always kind of argue my way out of everything. Like he goes, there's too much garlic. I'm like, no, this is how they make it. So I like that part. It gives me a little bit more control and confidence. Okay, let's check this. Another 5 minutes we did in here. Still a little soft in the center. Let's say another 7. The meatballs are looking glazy. Surprised how fast this happened. It's kind of got that Swedish meatball vibe. And even it's so fun when you start getting more comfortable with your cooking ability and you get flexible. Like I literally just said it looks like Swedish meatballs. And then I'm thinking about sour cream going on top. Then I'm like, wait, what if I made like a thick coconut milk that I could put on top to give me that white effect on top? That could be quite interesting, quite delicious. We'll taste this. We'll see if that will be a benefit of adding coconut milk. Coconut milk will be a benefit, but just the idea is exciting. Jose Andreas, egg repair, Anthony Bourdain traveled together, tasting all food together. Yes, and that was a pretty darn good trio. I thought the repair and Anthony Bourdain as a combo, a little bromance, they were a very funny bromance. They seemed to not fit each other, but yet they got along, so that was a good duo. Should ketchup be a mother sauce? No, I'm okay with ketchup not being a mother sauce. Ketchup, mustard, and relish are 3 American mother sauces. That's funny. Okay. Do you still keep up to date with any Philly or Chicago sports? No, nothing, 0. No interest. So your cap was almost tainted. What? Is that a joke? I don't know what that reference is. Apart from your banh mi shop, do you recommend would be the best to try for banh mi? Crap. I can't remember the name of the spot. It's in District 4. It's on a corner. We shot it before. It's in a Banh Mi Bros episode. It's yellow. If anyone knows the name of it, please put it in there. I think it's like Fung. I think it's like Fung, something like that. That's my favorite of the Banh Mi Thit Ngoi. Or Thit Ngoi. The sliced pork banh mi. The sliced cold cut style. That's my favorite so far. Banh Mi Huyen Hua is good. I just don't think it's as good as it used to be. And now it's like too much. It's too excessive. It's overfilled. And I would definitely get like Bonnet. You can get Bonnet. The Bonnet is easy to find. And they're all good. I'm glad you have so many wows. I want to take a big leap to create for the wows myself. Do it. Yes. Do stuff. Do stuff. Chef, do you prefer New York style pizza or Neapolitan style? Like Pizza 4P. I prefer New York style, and there's a slice shop in D1 where I grab a slice of buffalo chicken pizza whenever I'm craving that style. We need to tell Michael about that. What spot are you going to? Is that Paper Plate? Is that the one you're going to? But for me, for preference, I prefer New York style over Neapolitan. I like Neapolitan. It's good. I just think New York is better. That's all. Different things. And if I ate New York style 3 times in a row, I probably would want the Neapolitan next. I just wouldn't want to repeat it. But for us, the go-to is Jimmy's for New York. But if you got a new one, I'm down to try it. And I know Michael's been craving buffalo chicken so badly, so he would love it. It looks like cocktail meatballs with grape jelly and mustard. Oh, what? Oh, I got you, Tater. I got you. You can have 5 sauces, liquids, drinks, wherever, on tap, easily dispensed from your fingertips. Which 5 are you choosing? I saw somebody do this before. Any liquid, though, right? It was any liquid. Any liquid was the thing. So, like, I'm thinking I got water and I got gasoline. I want gasoline. I want free gas. What liquid? I'm just going to be trying to get the most valuable liquid, right? I'm just trying to get free money out of my fingertips. What would that be? be pretty cool to have fish sauce. I could just like put a couple drops in. That'd be pretty cool. Olive oil? Olive oil is expensive, and it'd be nice to have unlimited amounts of olive oil. Or maybe even like grapeseed oil, that's expensive too. I could fill up 5-liter buckets of grapeseed oil and then sell it, or olive oil would be good too. Any other liquid? What liquid would be extraordinarily valuable? Apple cider vinegar. That's another pricey one that's healthy. Huh. I'm trying to think of great answers for that. Let's try this sauce out. Wow. It's so flavorful. It's so strong. It's actually kind of cool how this is glazed up like this. It's different than the last one I made, because normally when I make it as a meatloaf, it's a lot of ketchup and it's a much thicker sauce, and you put it on the meatloaf and then you bake it. So it kind of caramelizes on top. It dries out a little bit. It's a different texture. It's a different vibe. It's less intense. This is much stronger. This is much truer to the original dish, but I like that it's saucy, because if I'm going to serve a meatball, I need it to be somewhat saucy. So I'm imagining this, if I ate this on top of a piece of polenta with this sauce on top, pretty good. And I think if I took the polenta, the coconut milk would be nice in here. But I think if I took the polenta and I cooked the polenta pretty mild, just with water, finished with a little bit of coconut milk so it'd be rich, then I could add this thing on top, and the sauce is so aggressive, so sweet, so salty, that it would season the polenta. It'd probably work out really well. Maybe with a pickled cucumber and maybe with a little bit of dragon bean. Let's try one of these things straight though. Let me get a little plate. Like I have, oh, I even have a piece of bread up there. Darn it. Like I do, I have that focaccia that I made upstairs yesterday. That would be kind of good to eat with this. But if I got polenta on the bottom here, and I can do a little bit of this glazy sauce on top, that looks pretty darn nice to me. The shine of it looks super nice. Well, it's hard to get a good angle. Yeah, the shine looks really nice on it. I think this is kind of sexy. Very cool. It's firmer than the meatloaf, because the meatloaf I can make it softer, because it has, because it's a big loaf, it's easier to form the shape. With this I have to be more, it has to be a firmer ball, but it's cool. All right, cake's done. We'll let this cool down. I just heard a big noise outside. I guess we have a big storm coming. Hey, love your bids. Henry, thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it. Office reference. I got to watch Office. I got to watch Office again. Chef at your restaurant in the States. Wait, what? Chef at your restaurant back in the States. What were your top 3 bestsellers? Caramelized pork banh mi. Caramelized pork banh mi. The thing that we are giving away on July 1st, Wednesday. 30 free. First come, first serve. That was the #1 seller. Big. And that was probably like almost 80% of the business was that. And that's why I'm trying to be smart and just focus on that. But the top, it was caramelized pork banh mi. Then it was caramelized pork noodle bowl. So we also offered the same thing in like bun thit nung, or like a noodle bowl variation. The third most popular was probably the lemongrass chicken banh mi. I think it was probably, depending on the day, the lemongrass chicken banh mi or the pork confit banh mi was probably the third of the batch. The fried tofu we had was absolutely incredible. top tier. It's just tofu is never going to be the biggest seller you have. But I ate that all the time. I loved it. I think the technique that I had for fried tofu was supreme. Absolutely fantastic. And we also had a very, very, very good chicken salad. Shaved cabbage. It was my wife's recipe, but it's not traditional in any way. It's something that she kind of developed in America. And it's great. It's super fantastic. So the people that were in the know that tried it, they really, really liked it, and they would come back and get it all the time because it's so healthy and so delicious too. In terms of the meatball, I like it. I like it. I think the flavor is very strong. I probably want to put a little bit more ketchup in it to dilute it slightly because this flavor is really intense. And for some foreigners, it's going to blow them out. But that's why I wanted to serve this in this meatball form. I'll probably make the meatballs a little bit smaller and make this just a little, almost a canapé or a first course. So the people that like it will like it. And the people that don't like it will try something new. And then we can move on and they didn't have to fill up on something they didn't appreciate. But I think it's a cool flavor. And I do like to introduce this kind of, I do like pushing people's palates. So I'm happy to feed you something you've never tried before. I just don't want it to be the main course, that's all. Yes, paper plate pizza is the spot. Okay, so that's the New York style pizza in District 1. I haven't tried it yet, but I've heard very good things about it. I'll have to give that a try. I saw it. Eric Repair is timid, and Anthony would make him take shots like his big brother. Yes. Yes, Anthony kind of allowed Repair to open up and be a little silly. Eric Repair is such a proper Frenchman, strict, rigid, and mellow. And Bourdain kind of got the wild side out of him, which was always fun to watch. New York bagels with that New York City water is the best, can't be replicated. Apparently, they got some problems with their flour. They're making flour with bromine illegal. So the pizza people and the bagel people are freaking out. Pretty cool. As I eat this right now, it's like overly intense with flavor. But I'm imagining with the polenta on there, with some fresh cucumber pickle, it's gonna be very nice. It's gonna be very nice. If I had gasoline coming out of my fingers, America would bomb me. That's true. I've asked a lot of people that question, and gas is the best I've heard. Yeah, gas is a great one, right? I can always fill up my car no matter what. I can fill up a jet. I gotta have a private plane to fill up my own fuel. Although I guess I'd have to have maybe one is jet fuel and one is gasoline. Vintage wine is a good idea. Oh my God, what do I want? Gin. I want gin or, what's my Rang drink? Cognac. Gin or cognac, one of them fingers. Gold can technically become liquid when heated. You do have chef hands, so it shouldn't be a problem. What's the other one? Mercury? Although I probably don't want mercury in my body. Never mind, I take the mercury back. This happened at the green room before the DC Central Kitchen food fight. Oh, the drinking. A polenta coconut milk biscuit served with it almost like a buttermilk biscuit. That's interesting. When you say biscuit too, I don't know if we're referencing like an American biscuit, if we're referencing like a British like cookie. But I like the idea of a cornmeal cookie with coconut milk. I'm struggling to figure out how to make a cornmeal biscuit, Western style biscuit. That may be hard to get the right texture on that one. Have you done a video of the awesome fried tofu recipe? I have many years ago on the TikTok channel. I don't think I ever made a long form content, and I haven't produced one recently. So maybe we can get into that. But basically, I'll give you the secret with the tofu. Tofu's sitting in water, right? Tofu just, like when you get a soft tofu or firm tofu, it's sitting in water. Well, what if tofu sat in a brine instead of a water? What if we made a brine, a flavorful brine, and let the tofu sit in that overnight and then fried it? That's the breakthrough that led me to that direction, and it's an excellent strategy. And you can do that, you can take that any flavor you want, but just take a flavorful brine and brine the tofu and then deep fry. Absolutely incredible. We did it with lemongrass, shallot, garlic, MSG, a lot of green onion, and if you're doing this, if you're gonna take this technique, you wanna overly season it. You want the brining liquid, usually for a brine, what are we doing, 2% salt? But usually for a brine, you kind of have a balanced level of salt. With the tofu brine, you want to make it overly salty because the tofu has so much water already, and it's all the water is going to come out and the salt water is going to come in. So you need to factor in the dilution of the brine. So you want to make it a little extra salty. How long did you work on your banh mi recipe? A long time. It was always being tweaked. The marinade, I would say the marinade probably is like a month and a half. But really it's the construction. And it's trying to make it as efficient as possible without losing flavor or quality. So you see all the shops where they are laying in the jalapeno the whole way through, which is kind of cool, right? I did that at first, but then it seemed like a waste. The thing is, when you're got your ass handed to you and you're so overwhelmed you can't make them fast enough, you got to figure out ways how to make it faster, and you got to remove as many steps as possible. So trying to lay out chilies on banh mi is cool, but that's an extra step. I'm like fingering the banh mi with the chili. It's also inconsistent. What happens if I don't slice it thin enough or slice it too thick or I don't space it well, so I have inconsistencies in the bite. So one of the strategies that we went for was just puree the chili and put it in the mayonnaise and make a spicy mayonnaise. And then I have one step of spreading the mayonnaise. I'm getting the heat already in there, and I'm getting a much more even heat distribution as well. So there's a lot of little things that tweaked over time to get it to where it is today. I've never seen you sweat the way you do when you played pickleball. I sweat my ass off at pickleball. Holy cannolis, man. But it's fun. It's really, really fun. How does it work with rice to reduce the intensity of flavor? What do you mean by that? The rice just kind of fills the gap of your mouth and takes over saltiness. So the salt has somewhere to go. It spreads out on the rice before you consume it, or same with this funk level, the rice will cut it. If that's what you mean, Dark Knight, I don't know what you mean exactly. Do you feel any animosity towards the U.S. after not living there for a while? Wouldn't be surprised if you did. No, I don't feel any animosity towards the U.S. And when you say the U.S., I think we always need to be careful of our language. If we're specifically talking about government, that's a different question, but U.S. to me equals like the people. I don't have any animosity towards the people of America. Yeah, no, I don't have any animosity. And I realize as I get older and older, I have no idea what's going on. None of us are behind the scenes. None of us are at that big table. We don't know the details of what's going on in all these different situations. We're getting what the news tells us, and I can't trust that, and I can't trust anything. I can't trust social. So I'm really just trying to lock into what I'm doing and realize I have no control over what's going on out there. I don't know what the reality is, and that's it. What are politics like in Vietnam? I'm just trying to lock into what I'm doing right now, and I have no control over what's going on. I have no idea. And it's probably a good idea to not get involved with it as a foreigner. I'm happy to be here, and I feel grateful to live here, so please let me stay. As an American, it's hard to get behind a lot of the action. I can understand that 100%. And it's weird. I have friends who are all about what's going on right now, and I have friends who are extremely embarrassed about what's going on right now, and it works both ways. To me, it's just important that I can still talk to everybody, and we can, if I agree with you, great. If I disagree with you, great. Let's talk about it, and as long as we can just keep disagreeing and not hate each other afterwards, I think that's a good sign of is somebody your friend or not for real. Hey, chef, my family and I always ask each other, how's your heart, your mind, and your soul? I wanted to ask you the same. That's a good question. How is my heart? I would say good. How's my heart doing? I don't know. Sometimes I'm baffled that my heart just keeps pumping. I'm very grateful that my heart just keeps pumping every day. Thank you, heart. I appreciate the work you do. Yeah, but I feel like my heart's pretty good. My mind, getting more focused, getting more clear, before a little clouded in what am I doing next. But I would say right now I have a pretty clear path in what I'm doing, and I understand it. So I feel good about that in that way. My soul, pretty damn good. I feel pretty great. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to have this life. I'm grateful to be on this path. So I think the soul's doing pretty well. Do you think those meatballs would be good in a banh mi? I think they would be good in a banh mi without too much sauce. You have to really. What I would probably do is take the sauce and dilute it in mayonnaise. Probably do 50% mayonnaise, 50% the sauce, because this straight in the banh mi is too strong, too much flavor, too salty. So if I diluted the sauce with mayo, then okay, we're in a good situation now. Beyond that, the meatball's good. Yeah, it'd be good in a sandwich. Yep. Okay. What are we doing now? I want to make something. I got my cake. The meatball, I'm considering a success at this moment. I'm happy with that. I'm going to tweak it a little bit for lunch, and we're going to do that off camera. The cake, I want to let it cool down a bit before we go ahead and eat this bad boy or try it. I have high hopes, though. It smells great. It looks a little dark around the edge, honestly. We'll see. We'll see about that. I don't like the crack in the middle. But I like the crust that's forming on top. I think that looks super nice to me. The thing I wanted to do today. Chef, focus on providing a great experience just like how you share your kids growing as they eat. That's exactly my plan here. Before, I used to get so deep in politics. I'm out. I don't care. I'm out. I'm not in it. I'm just trying to focus on what I can do and what I want to do and what I want to do for myself, what I want to do and share with the world. That's all I'm focused on at the moment. So the other week, we made a chicken loaf because I miss sandwiches. I miss hoagies and what do you guys call them? Subs, I guess. And it was great. Worked out really well. The only thing I didn't like was just visually, it had too many air pockets in it. It had like little bubbles throughout the sausage, throughout this loaf that I made, which didn't affect flavor, right? It's still delicious. Although when you have air pockets, there will be more spoilage faster, so the product won't last as long. And I just wanted to see, I wanted to try a different way to do it. So that's what we're going to work on right now. I'm going to use the lemongrass in here because it's in here and I don't want to waste it. And my wife will be very happy to have lemongrass. Where's my blade at? Oh, okay, here. All right, so the game plan this time, this is not for the restaurant. This is just for personal home consumption and curiosity. So we're going to try to do this. I'm just trying to think, do I need to get the other cutting board? No, I don't think so. Let's just try to do it like this. All right. I'm going to, the game plan this time is to blend half of the chicken, pretty darn fine, smooth paste. And the other half of the chicken, we're going to leave as chicken breasts. We'll butterfly them, open them up. We'll spread the paste on the butterfly chicken, roll it like a roulade, tighten it, and then steam it. So hopefully we'll have less air pockets, and we'll also kind of have this unique look to it where we got a spiral pinwheel sort of vibe. We were lucky enough in the Northeast Philly. There's a large Russian community in Northeast Philly and Ukrainian as well. Kind of funny, but yes, both. And there's Russian supermarkets. And the Russian supermarkets have an amazing lunch meat selection. Like, it blows American supermarkets out of the water. There's so many different kinds of lunch meats, and smoked fish too, so exciting. And they always had these kind of different rolled lunch meats where there would be multiple kind of meat products or pork products all in one loaf. And so there's different textures and sometimes there was different designs. So that's kind of where the idea came from. So we're going to try to do that. What are the hardest? So I just, chicken breast I'm going to crack open. One of these is going to go right in. Ah! Is this right? Did I tear it already? Yes. We're just going to go right in. Is this stupid? Maybe a little bit stupid. I just don't want a dirty cutting board. That's why I'm not cutting it up. I think my thing can handle 2 chicken breasts. We'll find out. But I'm going to add some fish sauce into here. I'll bring this up. Chicken pate roulade is crazy work, but sounds awesome. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it a pate. I'm not having a liver, there's no liver product in here, but it's kind of similar. And it'll be a little bit of work. All right, we're gonna go fish sauce. This is eyeballing again. I'm not writing for a recipe. I'm just cooking right now for the fam. Okay, a little bit more. MSG because we like it. And the leftover lemongrass is in this container, so this will have, you know, a little bit of an Asian flavor to it. So we want to be aware of that and maybe not add oregano or anything too Western in here. I'm going to put one green chili. Don't tell anybody in my family, but I'm putting it in there. I'm addicted. Okay, anything else we want to put in here? Maybe some pepper is good. Maybe I can just grab from down here. I got ginger? Should we do ginger? No, maybe not. Let's keep it simple. I'm thinking too, because this is probably going to be, I don't want this too strongly flavored. Because it's going to be, I'm going to use it for normal sandwiches. I'm probably going to put mayonnaise and mustard on it, so I don't want to go too crazy with aggressive flavors in here. The lemongrass is already going to push it. All right, so we'll get this seasoned up. We're going to spin it. Let's get this super tender. And we got nothing in the oven, right? We're good on the oven. I could turn the oven down. Okay. All right, let's see. On. Yes, here we go. So I'm going to rack this on high. Try to blend it well. I want this to be pretty darn smooth. I could potentially add an egg white in here, but I think I'm going to be okay. All right, let's check to see what this looks like. Just going to go a little more. Okay. Mixing the mayo and chilies is a great idea for banh mi. The fatty richness from the mayo makes the chilies less explosive. That's true. And I really just think it just gives me consistency of heat. That's important to me. When I make a sandwich, it's very important to me that the consistency, that each bite is the same. I'm very particular about sandwich construction, about banh mi construction. I hate that triangle cucumber cut. I think it's a terrible cut. I hate when they put like one kind of meat on this side and a different kind of meat on this side. I'm like, give me the damn thing. Make it even. I hate all that stuff. I had a concept that is a terrible business idea, but would be a cool idea. I wanted to open a burrito shop. Like the burrito, burritos are cool. But I hate when the burritos, it's just like you get a bite and it's all beans. You get a bite and it's all sour cream or all avocado. I wanted to make burritos that were super thin, like a taquito, but really long. And so the whole, like the beans would be one bean along the whole way. So you eat a bean every single bite. Everything would be super thin, but laid out the whole stretch. Your burrito would probably be like, I don't know, a half a meter or a foot and a half long. And it would just have completely even distribution. So every bite, every single flavor happened. Terrible idea for a business, but that'd be super fun. Carol, oh my God, I haven't seen you for so long. Well, welcome, Carol. Glad to be seen. Good to see you. Welcome. How did the audition go yesterday for your additional cameraman or woman? Nobody came. Not nobody came. I changed. Was that yesterday? I told Tang I didn't want to do it that day. I wanted to have a little bit more of a clear plan before, because we were going to film yesterday for the new show. We were going to do a demo filming for it. But I want to enter this much more prepared, and we got to think through it a little bit more and think about the presentation and have all these like presets for the show ready to go with how we're going to do it. So that got put on the back burner. We're going to do it. I'm still looking. I haven't interviewed anybody yet. People been, hold on, where's my spat? People been reaching out. I just haven't done the interviews yet. And I want to have it very clear before we start doing that. I tend to jump. I'm a jumper for sure. And I just want to be a little bit more planned out before I start jumping on all this stuff. So for me, right now, focusing on the dinners, focusing on the banh mi pop-up on July 1st is my main concern at the moment. Okay, so the chicken looks blitzed. That's good. Texture looks nice. We'll get rid of this. Whoa. And we're going to get our other chicken. Should I do this on this board? Let me lay this out. I got a mat here, so we're going to lay this out. Keep my board nice and non-chickenified. And let me get some plastic wrap. We're going to do the same thing that we did last week. If you watched last week, we made this chicken roulade. I had some thoughts. I mean, it's definitely easier to just do it in a square tray, but it's kind of cool to do it in a roulade form too. So we're going to get this all down in a circle. Okay, so now we have a big old sheet of plastic wrap in there. We'll get our chicken down. Let me get a glove so I can easily get my hands clean if I need to. Chef, I just want to express, I only share my stories so you understand what you're doing is amazing. Well, thank you. You share your stories, man. That's awesome. I appreciate it. You should hire Henry. Oh, that would be funny, huh? That would be funny. That'd be funny. You should hire Henry from China Max Videos. Heard he's pretty handy with a camera. Oh, should I slap him too? Well, he's going to use my studio when I'm not here. Then I got to show him the respect. That's funny. I don't know if Henry's the right guy, but that would be hilarious. All right, so we're going to try to take this chicken. And let me see, do I have a smaller knife? Yeah, give me that little bro knife. I don't want that one. Where's my other? Is it right here? Yes, there it is. Okay. I'm going to try to butterfly these out. I want these thin. Now I'm going to this is not going to be perfect, right? I'm going to, as I spin it, or as I tube it with the plastic wrap, even if I lay this out incredibly perfect right now, it's still going to kind of get smashed as I roll it up and twist it. So I'm not overly concerned about making this perfect. I just want to try to give myself a decent base to work with. And the filling is all chicken anyway, so even if it leaks out, it's not going to leak. It's going to form a solid base. There's no stress about this being an issue. So you can see I'm just trying to, not that one, come over here. I'm just trying to spread it. Yo, this music is amazing, but maybe not appropriate for right now. Okay. Well, it does feel like I'm doing God's work at this moment with this soundtrack going on here. Wow. It's kind of good to cook with this music in the background. You feel like everything you're doing is hyper important. It matters. Okay, now I got an idea. Let's get one more little taparoonie on this. I'm going to take my glove off. I'll throw that away. We'll get another piece of plastic wrap on here. right on top. Okay, and we'll use that plastic wrap to just bang this out a little bit. Just like you would do a chicken cutlet or something like that. But I'm not trying to be brutal, I'm just trying to make it even. How do you have so much life experience at such a young age? When I always try to do stuff, and I'm always a jumper. Like I have fear, of course, but I don't care. I just do I always, and I'm stubborn, so I always kind of went for what I wanted. That was good. And when I was young, I was working at Alenia. It was after Alenia, so I'm probably 20, 21 years old. I got so stressed out about I was so stressed that I didn't do anything. Like I have no experiences, and then it kind of brought me depression. I felt like I wasn't doing anything. And I don't know, that made me a little bit more, that was a crazy thought. I was a young kid. I mean, of course you're not supposed to have a lot of experiences at that age. But that made me a little bit more prone to try stuff because I was afraid that I didn't want to live my life without doing anything. And then I kind of got into this mindset I wanted to experience everything, good and bad. I wanted to experience it all. I don't want that anymore. I just want the good stuff. No more bad. I don't want to experience any bad stuff. I don't need another car accident. I don't need to have a drug addiction or anything like that. But that was definitely a thought process when I was younger. Something I was aware of about trying to make sure I had experiences and did stuff. Okay, this looks good. Looks even enough, pretty good, pretty nicely covered. And as I'm saying, there's only so much I can do with this. Once I start tightening it with the roll, the shape is going to change. But at this moment, it seemed like a pretty good, nice spreaded sheet of this. So let's try to get this. Oh, well, let's season it first. Sorry, let's season it. And I'm just going to season it with salt, just salt. Okay. And since this is a lunch meat, right? This is going to be eaten cold, and typically something you're going to have in the fridge for a couple days, right? It's not like you're going to eat all of this in one day. So it can be good to be a little aggressive on the seasoning because the salt will help to preserve the meat item to last a little bit longer. So I tend to be a little bit aggressive. Try to make sure it can last me 4 or 5 days without spoiling. And it did last time. I probably will be making this regularly. I always want this in my house now. I want to have lunch meat in the house at all times at this moment. All right, so I'm just trying to shape and form the chicken filling as even as I can. And if you remember, this one has the lemongrass inside. I'll try to spread this out a little bit. And we're almost using the minced chicken or this pureed chicken as a glue. I'm just trying to figure out, do I want to pinwheel it? A pinwheel would be ideal. I just think it's going to be hard. But I'm going to try. And at the worst, it'll look like a shitty pinwheel, but it'll be cooked and I can eat it. It would have definitely been easier just to make a single sausage kind of stuffing, but I'll try to pinwheel it. So I'm going to try to get this nice, smooth, evenly distributed now on this. Okay. All right, a little bit more. A little bit more. He is the GOAT. Well, thank you. If it's me you're talking about, I don't know. You're not worried about bones this time? Hannibal, ain't nobody got time for bones. Yes, I am. Honestly, I'm much more concerned about bones on a boneless thigh than I am on a boneless chicken breast. It's much more rare I'm going to get it on chicken breast, but on a thigh, I would say very common. Okay, I think this looks pretty good. All right, let's see if we can get a good roll on it. Where's that? Get this guy over here. Okay. Feels like a Chef's Table's episode with these tunes. I like that. I like Chef's Table. All right, so for the pinwheel effect, I'm gonna grab the plastic and try to get that first kind of push, pull, and get the next roll. Kind of push down to get the stick. Lift up the plastic again. Another roll. Lift it up again. Let it roll. And there we go. Okay, so we're pinwheeled out. And now I'm going to pull this back, get it nice and tight. And at this point, just fold it over, just like that. When you're doing this, I feel like I'm pretty good at making tubes. The most important thing to me that I've learned is you want to make sure that whatever size you want, you have to pinch the plastic to kind of cap or capture that size or lock in that size. If, let's say, at this point, I'm here, right? My plastic is at this point right here. And ideally what I want to do is just fold right over there to lock that. But let's say I was kind of just like loose about it and I went farther up and I didn't lock it right away. The roll would get just so big and wide. You really want to make that first roll you do with the plastic is the most important, that kind of locks in the size that this will be. And whatever size you lock it into, which I just did, I just rolled that up. Whatever size you lock it into, it's still going to get bigger because the plastic has some stretch to it, it has some give, and you're going to be twisting and tightening, so it does get bigger than you think. Wait, what? You're going to eat the raw chicken? No, we're not going to eat the raw chicken, don't worry. We're just tightening this up, and then we're going to steam it for a while. But now I'm going to roll this. Hopefully this time we'll have less air. I do love the crescendo building up, I agree. Is that a sandstorm in the background? What? Or is that on my board here? We had a little bit of a flour issue earlier in the stream. All right, so we're rolling, we're tightening. And I'm doing this on the mat because I know I'm going to start poking and I know chicken juices are going to get out. So I don't know. Oh, you can see it. So you see how there's like folds in the chicken? We can see these gaps going on here. I knew that's going to happen, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, even if I shaped it perfectly, it's still going to kind of get mangled as I turn. So we can see some of the filling is coming out here. It would take me, if I wanted this to be perfect, no filling it out, it would take me a long time. I would have to be much more careful at every step, and just for the family, I don't care. In this, we're just going to eat it. I dig the classical music. Nice, Mikey. I'm glad to hear that. When I was watching old school cooking shows, there's no music. If you watch Martin Yan, not Emerald Eye, but I like Emerald Lagasse, The Essence of Emerald, all of them, all of the old cooking shows, silence, no music whatsoever. So I'm thinking I think classic's cool, just a little bit in the background, and hopefully YouTube won't flag us for that. That seems like a good way. So I'm going to keep going with this. In a second, I'm going to start popping these little air holes. So everywhere I see a bubble, I'm poking a hole so air can get released, so we can get a nice tight roll. But at this point, I can see like the plastic's thin, so it could pop. So I want to be careful. I'm going to need another layer of plastic very soon. And because I poked holes in it, chicken juice is going to start coming out. So I need to be aware of that as well. Okay. All right. Oh, I love this song. Oh, this is a good one. I don't know if it's the best cooking soundtrack, but I like this song. Was watching USA Lucid Turkey. What did I miss tonight? A lot, Dustin. A lot. We made a lot of stuff. We mastered our Mamruk meatball. We made a coconut pound cake, which we're about to taste in a second. Coconut oil pound cake. We're rolling a chicken log. if I stay on, I'm going to make a chili, candied chilies and fermented chilies in a second. But we're about to finish this up. USA, did you say USA lost to Turkey? Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. All right, so we're doing another layer of that plastic. Actually, you know, man, that's okay. Okay. Rolling. So the same, now we just doubled up the layers of plastic. We're going to keep rolling. And as I push it, right, I get this nice tight roll, and then I just kind of let go of the ends so I can readjust them and start tightening again. If you don't let go of the ends, these tips, they get too thick and you can't tighten them anymore. So you kind of tighten as much as you can, let it go. Your log's at a new state of tightness, and then you can tighten it even more. And you want to take this as tight as you can until you think it's going to pop. The saran wrap only works when it's stretched. It definitely helps. Oh, okay. You have so many great techniques and so much knowledge. Thank you. If Chad can cook, so can you. Can I use that phrasing? If I use that, is that not okay? Like, it's an ode to Yan can cook. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a phrase, right? Like, especially for the show we're working on. And if Chad can cook, that was definitely, or Chad can cook, that was definitely a thing. Please use it, Work Camp Life. I was wondering if it's okay or not. Like, I don't know if, like, would Yan appreciate that? Would he think I'm doing something? I don't know. Am I going to get in trouble with, what's it, like trademark or something like that? But I love Yan can cook. I love it. I have deep respect. So it's an ode because you're awesome. That would be the whole thing. All right, this looks good. Loaf-wise, I could probably get a little bit tighter, but let's call it here. So the good thing is, well, you always want to tie one side first. So we'll tie one side. Because even though I have this log kind of at the shape or tightness that I'm comfortable with, then you always want to tie one side so then you can really rack the other side and really get it to the final level of tightness. Because I know now that this side is secure, right? That side's secure, so I don't have to think about it anymore, so I can go full force on the other side and really get this to the point where I want it to be. What's this dish called? Vinny Man, you could call it a chicken loaf or a chicken log or a chicken cold cut. We're basically making a cold turkey substitution for like a sandwich. Turkey in Vietnam is extraordinarily expensive for me, so I started doing this last week, making a chicken version. So I could slice it on I have a meat slicer too, so I could slice it on my meat slicer and make cold sandwiches for me and the family. And also it's nice to have a healthy, low-calorie, high-protein snack in the house at all times. That's a good thing for me. I don't need no Doritos and Oreos in my house. Cool, cool, cool. Just watched the new vid and it was great. Can you do a Texas chicken review video? We have this in Canada, it's called Churches. Yeah. Oh my, I'd be happy to. I love Texas chicken. We do have a new rule in our house though. When we order Texas chicken, we only order chicken. We only order chicken. We used to order, Tree likes a shrimp burger from there a lot. But we used to get Texas, then we get French fries, and mashed potatoes, and coleslaw. The French fries suck, the mashed potatoes suck, the coleslaw sucks, but the chicken's amazing. Chicken's amazing. So if we're just gonna eat, if we just eat the chicken, then we can order it more often because we're not eating the bad French fries and super extra fatty stuff. It's weird to me that it's common that we eat fried stuff. We pair fried stuff with fried stuff, or pair fried stuff with extremely heavy buttery biscuits. Like, that's not a good pairing. We shouldn't do that. Okay, so where we at? We're over here. We got a steamer set. TikTok, you didn't follow me. Brosive, track me. There you go. We got a steamer. Why are you not doing that? Got me? There we go. We got a steamer. We're putting our big boy in the steamer. And we leave it in there for a long time. The cool part is since it's steamed, it's pretty damn hard to overcook it. So you can set a temp to 165 Fahrenheit. What is that Celsius? I don't know, 74 maybe. You can temp it out. That's always a great thing if you have the thermometer. But the good thing is it's really, really hard to overcook it, steaming it. It's really, really hard to make it dry, steaming it, so it should be no problem. We'll leave it in there. It's probably gonna take about an hour total. And I got that. I'm so glad I put that thing on there. Now I know my board is chicken free. Let me just get a quick hand washing, even though I don't need it, but let's do it. Maybe we can try that pound cake now. Let's see if we get a little snip of this thing. Chad can cook, but I cannot. That's not true. No, that's a bad attitude. Carol, we got you. If Chad can cook, so can you. Well, here's the problem. If I do that motto or slogan or whatever you want to phrase it, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to say it without Yan's accent in the background in my head. Chad can cook, so can you. If Yan Can Cook was still around, used to watch him on Australian TV many years ago, but haven't seen him in a TV for a while now. Yan is still around. He actually follows me. I don't know if it's him or someone who just manages his page, but whoever you are, thank you for the follow. Yan Can Cook. I love you. Martin Yan, you're awesome. You are one of the greats. I've been doing a lot of research, watching all this old cooking content, and Yan is one of the greats in terms of cooking shows. Highly entertaining, skilled. He was just good. Very good. Fast-paced. He kept the momentum. He was one of the best. Yeah, love him. And actually, is very popular in Vietnam, too. My wife says when she was a young girl, they used to watch Yan Can Cook. And it would have like English words and it would be overdubbed in Vietnamese, and that's what they watched as a young girl. So that's really cool. Looks like chicken bologna with lemongrass. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Just no fat. Bologna would have a high ratio of fat. This doesn't have any. Churches is abysmal in the States. Oh, okay. That I can understand. Chef, you should do a vlog of yourself, a day in the life of Chef Chad from morning to night, thinking it'll be rating. Okay, that's a cool idea. Okay, let me think about that. I got to pick a day, a good day. We'll definitely be vlogging the banh mi pop-up. I want to show that more and more. And I will be I'm going to try to use the stories on Instagram and TikTok as a vlog. I'm going to try to be vlogging with stories more often. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have a good way to do that, or at least I haven't found it yet. Like with the stories, if I try to do community posts, I can't put videos in there. I don't know why they do it. So I can only do text and pictures, and I'm a video kind of guy. But I do want to be vlogging a lot more in that fashion, and I think that's a good idea for a video. The Church's biscuits are really good here in Canton. The Church's biscuits are good here. I just don't want to eat them. I'd rather just eat the chicken. Do you have a cold smoker there? I do not. I could build one. All right, so I'm just going to loosen up the edges of the cake. Let's see what we can do with this thing. Let's see if it'll pop out. It's still a little bit warm. May not be the best idea. Okay, it's not overly dark. I was worried it was overly dark. Ooh. We might be looking good here. Chatters, we might be looking quite good here. Dense. That's part of the plan. We want it dense. It's a good cake. Wow. The crust on the top is elite. I'm surprised the sweetness level is really nice. The sweetness, it's not too sweet. It's a very low sweetness cake, which is super nice. I think I substituted some of the white sugar with palm sugar in here, and that really worked out well because the palm sugar has less sweetness. Oh, pretty freaking good. I think the next time I would just bake it. I'll probably bake it in individual portions, like a little mold of some kind, single portion mold, and thinner, because the crust on the top is so good, and I'd like to have more of that crust on here. I think it's good. I don't know. This is, in terms of a coconut oil pound cake, which it is, someone's asking about banana bread. No, coconut oil pound cake. So it's a very dense cake, but the coconut oil really does give it a lot of flavor. It definitely tastes like coconut. Super moist. It's good. This is a good cake. Okay. And this is the kind of thing. I make some sort of light coconut milk whipped cream. And if I just top any kind of fruit, I'm gonna win. I put strawberries, I put mangoes on this, any kind of fruit. I do a little tropical fruit salad. There's people like this. They're going to like it. Especially if I serve it warm. And the crunch of the outside is so good. Bang rang. My wife is gonna love this cake too. Okay, cool. That's 2 successful things. That's great. The morning to night blog as cool, but you got to do it as captain's log. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, I like that idea, actually. I think it's important, especially if you're like a content creator, whatever, and you're doing something for a long time. You got to keep it fun. You got to be excited about what you're doing. And I definitely was going through a period where I was going through the motions, but I want to be excited. And that captain's log is kind of fun. I can see that. Chad, since you sweat so much, I'm glad my sweating tendencies are well known. Did you ever consider living in Hanoi because it's cold during the end of the year, so it might be better for you? I've also heard that Hanoi is hotter and more humid than Saigon. That's intense. No, I haven't. I don't particularly like Hanoi. I'm much more of a Saigonese kind of guy. I like the chaos of Saigon. I like the big city. I like the modern elements that we can get everything here. Hanoi is much more old school, much more traditional. The people are not as friendly in Hanoi as in Saigon. I think that's a pretty well-known fact. I like friendly people. The Southerners are sweet as can be, sweet as Nuke Mia. And Northern Vietnam definitely has a different vibe, much more traditional. And you can't get everything. Like in Vietnam, I have endless, or Saigon rather, endless choices for food, Western, foreign food. Hanoi is much more limited in the choices you're going to be eating. I like the food of Hanoi though. I think there are some amazing local dishes. But in terms of where do I want to live, a Saigonese. Saigon or Da Nang, that's it. Or Dalat. That looks like cornbread as the heavenly course in his background. It's great. I like the color too. The palm sugar makes it a little bit browner. That's really good. I'm gonna try. Can I do it now? Yeah, I can do it now. I'm gonna try to. This knife has garlic on it. I shouldn't use this knife. As I'm saying, because the top of the crust is so good, this crackly texture on the top. So I'm gonna cut some and try to toast it like a biscotti and see what happens. But I think I probably should flip this over. So let's get a few fingers here and see what happens when we get this in the oven, a low heat, for a while and let it completely dry out and crisp up. I think likely we're going to get an excellent cookie out of here too. Let's get a little tray. What's good, chef? Man, Church's biscuits are the best in the game, bro. What's up, Billy? All right, let's try here. Are Church's really the best in the game? I'm trying to think. Popeye's a good biscuit. And I don't know if this is normal or not, but Church's, aka Texas Chicken in Vietnam right now, they have the OG biscuit and they also have an orange flavored biscuit too, which is kind of cool. Nice to have a new flavor. All right, so I'm just laying these out. And we'll bake these up. As I said, low heat. Try to get them crispy. Give them 12 minutes. We'll see what happens. Okay, that looks good. This cake is badass. The kids are gonna freaking love this. My wife is gonna be really into this too. I may have to make some whipped cream tonight and fruit it up for them because they're gonna be into it. Or even ice cream would be good with this too. That's it. I can make coconut milk ice cream, serve that. Maybe a coconut milk ice cream and then like a warm fruit compote on top. A lot of things. I knew that once I have a good, strong coconut cake base, I can go a lot of different directions with it. A lot of different directions with it. Even coffee, I can make a trifle. I can make a cafe ciudad trifle, or what's that called? Cafe U, like a coconut coffee. Oh, I hope my wife brings some coconut coffee. Coconut coffee, and I could use that as inspiration flavor-wise and make a trifle. Make like a coconut whipped cream, some sort of coffee element, coffee pudding, layer that up. So many options. It gets very fun. Thoughts on countries coming to the USA for the Cup, trying for food for the first time, love it. Probably my favorite content on the internet right now is Europeans eating at TGI Fridays and Applebee's and that kind of stuff. It's fantastic. And what am I seeing? I'm just seeing like people saying this is what America needed. Like people just need to, it's like what I was saying before is Americans are not American government. These are different things. And on a whole, American people are pretty great. They're pretty nice, especially as you get out of the cities. Some people in the cities are nice, but sometimes some people in the cities are shitty. But people in the countryside are usually pretty damn nice people, especially in the South. America's pretty awesome. Where did I saw... Someone was talking about flat Earth. I forget where I saw that for a second. I don't see that question anymore. Turn in trace leches with tropical fruit. Another option. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's kind of cool. We can do cafe soda. We can do sweetened condensed milk in there for part of the leches. Coconut milk, sweetened condensed milk. Yes, that's a cool idea too. Would love to see you and Mikey do the Haiyang loop together and try all the northern dishes. That was my original plan. When Michael was first coming here, I was like, I definitely wanted to just go do that with him because he's the right guy to do it with. And I know there's only a couple more years before that's not going to be a reality to do anymore. So I would love to. I would love to. I'm just locked in. The whole time he's been here, there's always been some stuff going on, been busy, or he was tight on money for a while. And I was tight on money, and hopefully that opportunity comes. But now he's locked in too. We'll see. Maybe we can make it happen. What about the Dalat weather is cooler? Yes, Dalat weather is amazing. Dalat is a wonderful place. Wonderful. I love Dalat. I love Dalat. The weather is better for sure. The vibes of Dalat are great. It's clean. It's one of the few places in Vietnam like doesn't have litter, and it's like such a nice treat to see that. This thing's ripping. If you are traveling to Vietnam and or you're planning your trip, and I would put Dalat on your trip. I think it's a good place to see. I think I assume, me included, most people don't think that Vietnam has like pine trees and cooler weather. We just kind of think tropics and jungle. I think that's what I thought. I think that's what most people think. But Dalat is cool weather, pine trees, tall, big growth trees. Like, it's a very nice place. The kids aren't doing a taste test today. No, they're around, but they're doing school right now. How do you get young kids to not be picky eaters? This, you may not like my answer, but this is the reality for me. I'm strict as hell. I'm extraordinarily strict. I'm a very strict father. You have to taste it. Not an option. I think that's it. There's no option. You don't give them the option to not taste it. They don't have to eat it. They don't have to like it. They don't have to eat it. They don't have to like it, but they just have to taste it. Some stuff there's some stuff I would make them eat. maybe just like meat or something. You didn't go eat enough meat or something. But when it's a new food item or a food item they don't like or they think they don't like, they have to try it. I don't care. We're going to sit at this table for 6 hours until you try. You're not getting up. You're not leaving. You're tasting this food. That's it. I know that's hard for a lot of people. It's not hard for me at all. It's my natural instinct. There's no difficulty for me to do it there. But I know parents struggle with that. So I don't know what else to say except you have to do it. I have another. If you weren't comfortable doing that sort of style, which I think is the most effective way. The other style, I have friends who are doing it a different strategy, but I like what they're doing too. I think it's okay. They don't make their kids taste anything, but that's the food they have. So if you don't eat it, you're not eating. It's no problem. That's it. And so I appreciate that. Usually, like if we'd be at a restaurant or something, they wouldn't force their kids to eat the food, but they also wouldn't order anything else for their kids. So their kids can go home, they can wait until they go home and eat what they want when they get home. So I think that's okay too. That's okay. I don't prefer that style. I have no problem being a strict asshole. I'm okay with that. But if that's uncomfortable to you, I think it's also okay to do that, where you don't just, all right, this is what we got. You don't want it, you can just wait until we get home and then you can eat. But definitely do not ever make a secondary meal for your kids, or do not order something specifically for them. No, I disagree with that. I think that's a bad strategy. I don't think that works out for you. How do a biscuit comparison from different restaurants like, you do a biscuit comparison from different restaurants like when you did the burgers and the pho. There's not that many biscuits. I don't think it'd be a good video. And I'm really only comparing like a few fast food restaurants. It's like KFC and Church's or Texas. I don't think there's many spots that do briskets here. It's not a common thing. Oh, there we go, user 238. That was me, chef. Thoughts on whether the earth is flat or round. I have no idea. I'm at the point now I don't believe anything. If it's on the internet, I don't believe it. That's where we're at. And I think that's where we all should be. If you see something online, you can't believe it. You see a video, you can't believe it. We're no longer able to believe anything we see, hear, or read at all anymore, and that's where I stand. So I have no idea if the earth is flat or round. I like the idea of the grand conspiracy of it being flat, though. I think it's fun, but I have no strong opinion either way. I trust no one anymore. Man, can't wait to see the Bun Me episodes. I'm excited. I'm excited to do it. Yeah. I'm excited to push myself and start doing some things out there, feeding people, and just do stuff. Build stuff, do stuff. I'm going to do stuff and build stuff. Hopefully you see me, you get inspired. You do stuff. You build stuff. Be unique. Do cool stuff. You need to do the pear and ice like you told the kids you would make the kids. What did I say with the pear and ice? I definitely told Liam I would make him a pear, like a Basque pear. I wanted him to try Basque pears and like poach the pear in red wine. Is that what you're talking about? What's the pear and ice? A spiced coffee gelée would be good with the chocolate mousse on top. Yep. Cooking in the comments was so fun. It just didn't work that well. Like sometimes it worked in terms of views, in just terms of the views. And right now, as I'm saying, my focus is to lock in recipes for the pop-up dinner. So I do like cooking the comments as a show idea. I think it's a good show idea, and I think it's fun. But at this time, it's not where the focus will be. It may come back, but not right now. I believe you have to tell them to taste it. If you don't like it, we find what you like. We find what you like at a different meal. But at this meal, you can taste this, and if you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. But you don't want the kids to be thinking if they just say no, they can get what they want eventually. Because they will. Okay. I just love your answer to the flat or round question. It's the reality. I don't believe anybody. I don't believe any of the history I've been told. It's continually proven to be false all the time. And so I no longer trust anything. Anything. Pear and ice cream. Oh, okay. Okay. Cake is good. Chicken's good. Steamer's good. All right. Last thing I'm going to show you. I'll give you a quick little recipe. It's the easiest recipe in the world. But it's something that's become a little bit of a signature condiment for me. We'll do one more thing before we close it out today. You may hear me talk about a candied chili. Candied chilies is something I frequently speak about. It's something that's usually always in my refrigerator. It's something that people get blown away by. It's a very wonderful condiment, and it's a very nice addition or element to have to add to a dish that immediately will transform the dish with sweetness and heat. So I think it's quite wonderful, and I'm going to show you. So simple. Perfect song. Yo, I'm into it. Okay, fantastic. We're going to need a chili. I prefer, you got so many bangers from cooking the comments. I agree with that. I agree with that, Hannibal. And I'm not saying cooking the comments is done, because I think that it's a great show concept. I really do think it's a great idea. But it, in terms of like if we're shooting it for a YouTube video, it's always hard to title because the dishes are always new and unique. So the titling is hard for it, and we're just not getting the results from the YouTube video. So it's not worth it for me to have Tang here to edit those videos. I just lose money. So I think cooking the comments, there will be elements that got brought into it in the new show we're discussing, that we're planning out now. But I can't argue that new bangers weren't created from that show. The Korean bunchat was incredible. So yeah, it's going to happen. Wait, what? A MacBook Pro just went from $1,700 to $2K. As someone who uses Mac, what do you think? I don't like that. Are you saying a new model went up, or just the base, the price just went up $300? That's crazy. I knew we saw, I don't know if you guys are watching it or not, the Steam, what is it, Steam console, or not the Steam Deck, this new Steam machine. That's $1,000 for a little computer. It's crazy. We need to shut down the AI, what are they called? The data centers are stealing all the memory. It sucks. The price is going up. Even SD cards, like, oh, I forgot my coconut. Tang was looking up these SD cards. Something we used to buy for maybe $80 is now like $300. So that coconut oil pound cake, still very soft. We're going to go back in the oven. All right, for the candy chili, you're going to need chilies. You're going to need chilies. Here's the chili. I prefer this dragon chili for this particular technique. We call this dragon chili. I've heard of finger chili. I don't know any other names for this in English. Dragon chili is my preferred name because that's a badass name. So that's what we're going to do. I like this one. The color is good. The red color is good. The size compared to the heat is nice. Because they're not crazy spicy, I can make the slices a little bit bigger so I get nice garnishes on them. But they still have heat. They still have heat, so that part's nice. We're going to go ahead and cut through these. And I like to cut them on a bias because this is something that will be visual. I want to cut them relatively thin, but not like extremely thin. It doesn't really matter though. You could cut them any thickness. But the thicker they are, the more they'll have to sit before they're ready. And I cut up to the seeds. This song is just making me think of a movie so much. What movie is this? Is it Wayne's World? Okay, I'm going to go through and cut all these. When you're doing this, I recommend you do it in a decent sized batch, because this will last a long time. You could go through this really quick, I've had these sit in my fridge for probably 2 months before and still grabbing from them, and almost no loss in quality. The texture of the chili will change slightly, but it's no big deal. Oh man, I can't remember what movie this is. The price of memory has doubled or tripled. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's that, when we were talking, what were we looking at? Oh, we got a new camera in the studio. And we can shoot 4K 120 frames per second, so we can get nice, beautiful slow-mo. But we need a good memory card for that. And the memory card is like $150 for a memory card now. It's just freaking ridiculous. Not very exciting to me to spend that much on a memory card. We're going to keep cutting these chilies. Any reason why you're not charging for your banh mi next week? Is it purely for reviews? It just seemed like a cool thing to do. Seemed fun. We'll have Tang there for the camera. Should be easy to get 30 people here for a free banh mi. Well, I like the sound of this. Yeah. And if I'm only selling 30 banh mi's, I guess I'm not going to make any money anyway, so it doesn't seem worth it. I can and giving away 30, it's not going to cost me that much money. That number seemed good, where I'm not going to lose that much money by giving them away, and 30 I can handle. I can make 30 with my wife, no big deal. So that was kind of the thought there. And you know, we've been talking about doing the banh mi's for so long, and there's so much crap that happened with where we were going to work together with Michael, and then we didn't work together with Michael, and we were looking for locations. So I was like, let's just freaking do it. Let's just do it. Let's do a pop-up real quick. Get some banh mi's out the door so we say we did it, and it's there, and we'll get some shots. It'll look good, and we'll see what happens after that. But let's just get it done because we've been talking about it. And the same thing, like I'm telling you to like do stuff, build stuff, do stuff. Once you just start doing stuff, then more stuff happens. So you get inspired to do more stuff. Or you meet somebody who tells you, hey, you should come over here and do that. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just know every time I do stuff, more stuff happens. So I got to keep doing stuff. You can't get too locked into your house. All right, chilies are cut. Look at them. They're cut the whole time I'm talking to cut them. I'm freaking pro. Here we go. Put them in any container you want. I'm going to go with this one. I guess if I didn't have this chili, jalapeno would be fine. These are hotter than a jalapeno, so jalapeno would be okay. Serrano chili would be okay. Be a little bit hotter than this. But this dragon chili is really a preference. I love the color of it. The heat level works really well for me in this situation. Let me wash my hands so I don't rub my eyes or anything else later. Wow, so the Mac prices really went up? That's a bummer, dude. I do like Apple. I don't know, I mean, I know there's drama with the phones too now, but the computers are great. I was going to buy a Mac Mini. We'll see. The RAM shortage is really an issue, though. We got to get RAM prices down. This is just a problem. Not cool. All right, so chilies are here. We're going to do a little bit of salt. And I mean a little. I'm just doing a pinch. That's it, whatever, just basic seasoning on the salt. You can do a little bit. You could even skip the salt completely, but I think a little salt is always a good idea. Okay, next. Here's the big move. We cover it with sugar. How much? It really doesn't matter. You can't put too much, I'll say that. Like, that's impossible, you can't put too much. No way that's gonna happen. But we'll stir it. I'll try to show you how much I got in here. So you can see it's like there's more sugar than I need to cover them, and there's probably a little bit extra on the bottom. So every chili is completely covered in sugar, and they're sitting on probably a 1/4 inch of sugar on the bottom. If I wanted to, I could literally just cover the whole thing in sugar. It's not, you can't overdo it. It's impossible to overdo. The only thing that's going to happen is there'll be some granulated sugar on the, actually I might have some in the back to show you. Let me check in this fridge first, and I'll see. No, I got rid of that batch because I knew I was making a new batch. We're done. You did it. Best recipe in the whole world right here. The only thing you need to do is let it sit. Let it sit for, I would say, minimum 1 hour, but really want to do overnight or a week. The sugar will melt. The sugar will then cover the chilies. Maybe you just want to kind of press them down a little bit as the sugar starts to melt a little bit. You can just press them. Here we go. You can kind of just press them down a little bit. But I'm saying if you have like the perfect amount of sugar, the sugar will melt and you'll have this sugar syrup. And then it's kind of, the great thing about this is you get 2 different elements. You have the sugar syrup, which is now a chili spicy syrup, which you can use in dressings. You can use it to top things. And you have this little sweet, spicy burst that you can put anywhere. That part's really cool. Then you also have the chilies themselves, which are somewhat preserved because their moisture has been pulled out of them. The sugar's pulled out the moisture. And they're also sweet. So they're a little less hot. So the heat's a little bit more manageable. The texture of the chili gets a little bit chewier in a little bit of a way. But they last for, I've never had them go bad. I've never seen them go bad. The last one's in the fridge was in there for months, and they don't go bad. If you put, let's say, dramatically too much sugar in there, the only thing that happens is on the very bottom of the container, there'll be a layer of granulated sugar, and on top of that, there'll be a layer of sugar syrup in the chilies. So you can't mess it up. Super easy to do. And you'll see as I do dinners coming up in the next couple weeks, as you see it, you'll see me all the time grabbing these, putting these on top. People are like, hey, you got a little heat? I'm like, hey, I got something special here. Let me put a few of these on there. And it's a very little special magical thing that's super delicious and I think special. Man, love your content. Missed you on my page for a while. Share the Philly love. Thank you. I just saw my wife in here. I just want to tell her to try this coconut cake. Oh, she is yogaed out. Toyoi! Hello, Miss Yoga. Yes. You want to try a piece of cake?
Yeah, the door is downstairs. It's open.
Oh, you just have, that's all right. It's coconut. You like that? It's good, isn't it? Yep. Told you, I don't lie. Very good. I got a Mamruk meatball too. We have it with rice. It's very good. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, this is a long life today.
Yeah, I made a couple things. I made another chicken loaf too. But this, I'm done. I made another chicken loaf. Yeah, and it's really good. I know it's really good. I'm happy. I wrote down everything. Wrote down the grams. If you guys want the recipes, everything I make, subscribe to the Patreon, subscribe to the YouTube channel. All the recipes will be going up there very soon. Huh? She's addicted. They're not up yet. They will come up. I got a new computer set up for my wife, and we got to get in the habit. She's going to take over a lot of these back-end duties of uploading the recipes. So we're going to get started on that probably in the next week. We'll get it all up there. Yeah, the banh mi shop was super anticipated by the chatters. Every stream, multiple people asked about it. Yep, so that's kind of what we're doing. We're just like, okay, we just need to do something. All right, so I was telling my wife, I was like, what's stopping us? Let's just do it. Let's just freaking do a pop-up. There's going to be no signs. All right, it's just going to be me, a table, and a grill. So it's going to be real nonchalant. And I want it that way. I'm giving away food, so it's going to be really easy if people see free food to like give away 30. So I want only the people who know are going to swing by. If you weren't a chef, what would your second career preference? I would be a farmer or a musician, one or the other. Probably a musician. I think farmer is my later days, my later years. When I was younger, I really wanted to be an ichthyologist. I was really into fish. I still like fish a lot. I like the ocean, so I'm into that too. I believe you have to tell them you have to taste it. If you don't like it, we find what you like. Okay. Okay. Use the free banh mi to track how they found it so you can leverage it. Do you leave it uncovered in the fridge? No, I do cover the chili. So you can put this in any container. Obviously, any container completely works. Something with a lid is ideal. I will probably transfer this into a different container later. I just didn't have it. But I'll just wrap it. And you do want to keep it refrigerated too. I probably should mention that. You do want to keep it refrigerated. I don't leave it out. Leaving it out will create a fermentation. Leaving it out, this probably would turn into vinegar. I guess so. I guess it would turn into alcohol and then vinegar eventually. Which may be worth experimenting with down the road. Chef, we'll be in Saigon second week of September. Please do another banh mi pop-up. Second week of September. Oh, that's so far away for me to think about. But it's I will say, very, very possible. And if it's not a banh mi pop-up, there'll probably be a pop-up. I like the idea of making 30. 30 to me feels like no stress, feels like I can handle that easily. And hopefully this is fun, goes well. And if it works out, I'm just like, well, maybe I just do that a lot, just with different stuff. And I can have different things going on all the time. And As long as if I do it 1 day a week and I do 30 of something, I don't feel like any anxiety about that. I feel like, and really the buncha, the Korean buncha was an amazing dish. And I would love to make 30 of those for 30 people. And maybe just people prepay so they know they don't have to wait. They know they got the thing. I know I'm paid for. And they can come here at 5 o'clock and eat some Korean buncha. It'd be badass. 30 free banh mi will go in a flash. I know. 30 people drive by this road, I would say at least every 10 minutes. So if they see it, it's going to happen. So I really don't want to be overly crazy about it. Fun stream, Hannibal. Appreciate that. What genre of music would you sing? Funk. Funk rock. I would like that. I always described what I wanted to do as a violent explosion of positive energy. That's the kind of music I wanted to play. High energy, but just aggressive good energy. I like that. Reza, last question. Where are you from? Pennsylvania. Right outside of Philly. Yeah, right outside of Philly. But I've been in Vietnam for a long time now. More than 10 years. It's definitely a second home. Wonderful place. Love it so much. And we will call this a day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching on TikTok. If you enjoyed this video, if you're going to be watching it on YouTube when it comes up, please like the channel. Give us a comment down below. Comments are super important. Help us with the algorithm. Till next time. Oh, anything else to say? July 1st. Banh mi giveaway. 30 free banh mi's. July 1st, Wednesday. Date, not the date, you know the date. Time and address will be released very shortly. Make sure you're following on Instagram or TikTok. The stories are where you're going to find out. We'll keep you posted on all of that. And if you would like to make a reservation to join one of the pop-ups here in studio for dinner, you can send us an email at cksk@chadkupanoff.com. Seating is extraordinarily limited. 6 people a week maximum. We might only do it every other week, but we're doing them now. Dinners are starting. We got reservations coming, so you'll be seeing that content soon. Have a great day. Peace. Thanks so much for watching.